It's the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Hey, Sarge, you see what they did inside of StreamYards? You can see an audio, like an audio microphone thing for your volume and stuff. Look at that. I just noticed that.
What am I looking?
On the back end. You can see your picture, and then there's the mic. Sorry, chat, but this is a thing that's happening on the back side over here.
Got it.
Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. We were off last week. I was on vacation. Sarge had a mini vacay earlier this week, so we're back. Don't worry, chat. We'll be here until I think Christmas time, and that's when we go off for our next hiatus for a week or two. So episode 448. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Generation X Gaming. On today's show, Sarge, we're going to be talking about Intel. We're going to be talking about Activision adds new requirements to play Call of Duty. We're going to talk about Call of Duty 2027 will start a brand new modern sub-franchise. Not a sub-franchise that go against Subway. You know what I mean? Like, not a sub-shop. Never mind. Assassin's Creed live-action series ordered by Netflix. We're going to talk about Steam adult games under threat. We're talking about Nintendo is taking desperate measures in patent infringement case. We're going to talk about YouTuber could go to jail for reviewing third-party gaming handhelds. We're going to talk about $7 billion. That's the number GTA 6 is going to make in 2 months. We're going to talk about rumor Fallout 5. We're going to talk about Elder Scrolls 6. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones 2, perhaps. We're going to talk about Meta is expanding its AI capabilities. We're going to talk about Battlefield. We're going to talk about King's Staff, which is Candy Crush guys. King Studios. Basically, Microsoft fired a couple people there in place of AI. We're going to talk about Nintendo with game key cards in Japan. They want to survey. They want to know. We're going to talk about the ROG Ally. We got a couple other stories we're going to talk about as well. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that membership if you want to become a member as little as $5. We do this again on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. I also do a live show Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. And you can also listen to the past broadcasts or watch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and anywhere else a podcast is listened to through your ear holes. And don't forget, we have Perk Up and Press Play, the album I created with all the morning show stuff, and you can listen to that as well. You can either stream it or purchase it, and I appreciate your time. All right, Sarge, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in about 2 weeks.
Well,
anything exciting happen?
When you went away and I didn't have the show, I kind of didn't know what to do with myself, so I started playing some RTSs and that night.
So you had like a whole stuff to talk about.
Playing
stuff.
I didn't.
We're not there yet, though.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot. I basically turned off my phone to like most of the gaming stuff. So when I started looking today, because I started looking like last night, but I started looking more today, like the overwhelming avalanche of just complete and total mayhem that's going on with all the stories. And I'm trying to acclimate to not caring for the last week and being on vacation, because I've gone from a Jameson bottle to a pool to a jacuzzi back to the Jameson bottle, and I've been doing repeats of that for the last 4 days because it was my birthday. So I just kind of followed this little thing here where it's like, oh, I'm thirsty, Jameson. I'm sweating, pool. I want to relax more, jacuzzi, enter Jameson, and repeat.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so I spent time with the cousins, and we just kind of hung out. And I like the being his property's far enough away you don't hear anything, bro. I'm in his backyard, and I heard a cicada and my heartbeat. I didn't. That's what I'm talking about.
I went out deeper. I went out to Wisconsin. I went in the middle of nowhere. My backyard was 11,000 acres of nothing, of farmland, of corn and grain and everything else. And it was awesome. Like, I absolutely love it. It's actually not 11,000 acres. I mean, other people live there, but it's just, you don't see a skyscraper. You don't see a building. You see small little country homes, lots of farmland, animals. It was awesome. Only electronic I touched was my cell phone. In the morning, I would have a cup of coffee, sit on the back and check out the sun rising, and it was awesome. And that's what I did for like 4 days, and then the other 4 days, it was into the city, and we had a family reunion on my wife's side, and we stayed in a house with 21 other people. So it went from nobody around, and we were like zen, like I was shooting, I was farming. I was like just having a good old time. And then I went into normal place and 21 kids and adults, and that was just the house we were staying in. Then we went to the family reunion. The house we were staying in was 7 bedrooms, 21 people. It was a madhouse. It was good though. It was a fun place. Real quick, Altern says, talking about memberships, 21 months here and more to come, baby. Great music album, by the way. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so had a good vacation. I recommend people to get away, like whatever it is. If you have the opportunity, go. You don't have to go out to the middle of nowhere like I did, okay? But that's what we do once a year. We go out and we get away. But you should do something and get away from electronics. You should go just disconnect.
I did disconnect.
Yeah, and just disconnect and have a good time.
No phone in this hand. Just a drink. It was just a drink in this hand. No phone.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to. Oh, they changed all this around too. Let's get to what we've been playing. Paul J says, I just blew my back out masturbating to Superman. I mean, that's I guess, good. I don't know. Wherever you fall on that side. All right, Sarge. It's been 2 weeks. What games did you play the week I was gone?
I didn't play a lot of new stuff. You know my list that I play right now. I'm playing, except for this past Sunday, because I think Travis blew up his phone. We were playing. I'm playing we're going through Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm playing that every Sunday. But the normal circle right now is basically Dawn of War 2 competitive online, Company of Heroes 3 competitive online, and then Dune Spice Wars competitive online. Like, I play a couple games a week. Practicing.
I played lots of Marvel, right? So Marvel Rivals, I played the last 2 days on stream. But when I was on vacation, the only thing I played 2 mobile phone games, because that's the only time I play these types of games when I'm on vacation. Airplane, traveling, sitting on a porch, right?
So what did you end up with to find out why they're making $1 billion every 3 months?
Yeah, so I'm playing 2 games. I'm playing Marvel's Mayhem, Mythic Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a mobile game.
Yep.
Yes, it's got putting things up there, buy this daily, weekly, whatever. But the game itself is actually a really done well comic book game, what I've been asking for all these other comic book games, right? So this game understands what it is. Obviously, there's microtransactions involved, and I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just talking about what the game structure is, right? So you have characters, you build a team. I have 3 characters. I don't have any footage to put up on the screen, but you're putting 3 characters you get to choose, and this is where you upgrade them, right? You level them up, and that's where, get these certain materials to level this guy up or do these missions and whatnot. But there's like little stories. So each character, like the first story mission is about Wanda. Scarlet Witch and whatnot. And the game itself on the phone is done like a comic book. They have like cells and there's a story going on, and then when they do their ultimate abilities and stuff like that, it's done very well. It's done very well. So it pisses me off because I want a game like that on a regular console, on the PC. Yes, and I know people are going to tell me, yes, you can play that on the PC with the... No. I'm talking about an actual game developed for a console, right? So they understand, and right now there's an event going on because Fantastic Four comes out next week, so they put Fantastic Four story missions inside of this game, right? So you can unlock Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, Reed Richards, and the Thing. And I'm like, this is pretty cool for what it is. I don't like the game as far as it happens really fast to go, oh, I see. So I only can do this to a certain point, and then they want me to spend money to get this character or get this higher end character and pay money to get that, right? But if you just play your dailies, when you logged in, remember that Transformers game you were playing for years?
I couldn't finish it. Oh, yeah, with the mobile one.
The mobile one.
I thought you meant the one that was on console.
Right? Where you like collect the certain
collecting
Transformers.
All, and that's why I played it, because I like collecting all the robots.
Yeah, you log in, same type of thing like that. You log in, try to get these materials so you can unlock a chance to unlock a new character and stuff like that. Then I'm playing another game that's called DC. What was it called? DC Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide. Now, this is actually pretty good, too. Okay, this is a 5-man team, and it's, goes real fast. It's a 5-man team. You're just putting a team together and leveling them up and doing all these things. But what I don't like about this game is that there's so many things. It's like, okay, do this mission. Okay, you do this mission. And then after this mission, oh, there's a new mission over here. You do this mission. Oh, there's an event going on. Oh, there's an arena thing that you can do. Oh, there's a boss fight thing you can do.
Swirl!
Yeah, there's so much going on. It almost reminds me of the Marvel game I played a couple years ago. I forget what that one was called. Water Bear should remember. But we played I forget what that one was called. You had like 8 characters, 10 characters that was there, and you played through it. But all the different modes that it had in that game kind of reminds me of DC Worlds Collide. Worlds Collide is actually pretty fun too. I like the art style inside of this game as well. They have some of the characters look really crazy, but it's in its own little art style. It's not like the typical Superman. Superman's looks
the Warhammer
cartoony.
one
Future Revolution. That's it. Thank you very much.
The Warhammer one is good. Tactics.
Oh, they have a Warhammer one like that.
And the Star Trek one is also good. But
I have the Star Trek one on the console.
Well, that's the online one. That's Star Trek Online.
No. I have the Star Trek one where it's just like 5v5 cartoon style. I talked about it on the show like 6 months ago.
I'm not sure if it's the same one because it's hard to tell with mobile games. But this one's kind of like you upgrade your ship and you have to go on adventures as missions. It's a mobile game, but it's a mobile.
Yeah,
game. It might be the same one.
I like these little games when I'm on vacation. I won't touch. I'll play it right now. I'll play it because a week back I'll play it, but I lose interest in them because the more you go, the higher you guys get, and then you hit this wall of.
There's a wall.
Yeah, there's a wall, and you're like the only way past that wall is that you got to grind for the next 8 months or cash. Yeah, so I kind of lose my urge to play the games. But if you're looking for those types of games.
Well, I can tell you which ones you can play if you play on your mobile that it would be fun to keep you busy. Is for me. So I have Axis and Allies. The board game is on the phone, right? You can play that with people as long as you have their account number.
Yeah, your friends or
whatever.
On
PC, you can play it, right? The Root, the game called Root. If you ever played Root before, that's on the phone. That's actually kind of fun. You can play that multiplayer. Terraforming Mars, the board game. You could play that version on your phone. That keeps you busy for a while.
Which one was that?
Terraforming Mars.
Oh,
it's
Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, it's a board game, but you can play it at the full game on your phone. And there was one other one. I'm trying to remember which one that was. It's going to slip out of my head now. Bastard. Too much whiskey. Come on, brain. All right, it'll come to me later. If I just shout out a game later, you'll know what it is.
Right.
You'll know why I shouted it out.
You'll do the squirrel moment there.
Yeah, I'll just shout out a game for no reason.
Eclipse says he's playing Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 4 right now. He says, I have like 50 characters in my roster for Ultimate Alliance. That's a new game to me. I want to try to I didn't download it the other day, Eclipse. I I tried to find it and go through it. I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, this weekend I'll try to figure it out. If I could play Ultimate Alliance on the PC and download the mods and stuff, that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. All right, anything else you're playing, Sarge? I have to go back and play some Dune Awakening. I haven't played it in 10 days, 12 days.
And I've been out of the house for, even if it was just 4 days, my whole like routine gets thrown off. So like I'm not ready to jump back into the routine yet. I'm just kind of like, like wandering back into the circle. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not ready to do this yet. Let's just kind of, me sitting in this chair felt weird. I'm like, I haven't been here for a while.
Krebsy says, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Marvel Rivals would have failed without the Marvel brand, and people would say its combat is shallow and bland. Oh, I agree, Krebsy. We've had this conversation in the very beginning. I said if this was just a normal generic game, it wouldn't make it. But the Marvel brand, and this is why my conversation with Marvel Rivals the entire time has always been put 40 characters in at launch and then continuously bring in people, because you're always going to have. I mean, Marvel still has a brand. The TV shows and the movie industry right now are really down, but Marvel itself, there's people still excited to play Marvel, read Marvel stuff, but not as big as it was back, when it was at its peak in the film industry. So, all right, let's get to the top stories. All right, Sarge, let's go with the first story here, which is Intel.
Nintendo sues everybody.
Yeah, no, Intel is laying off thousands of U.S. workers in the AI restructuring. CEO Tan says that it's too late to catch up with the competition. Around 5,000 surplus employees will be cut from positions at Intel across the United States as it focuses on artificial intelligence. It's like a running theme, right? Like everybody.
I like how they
remember
called.
people telling me,
I like how they called surplus, bro.
Yeah, the surplus,
right? So surplus means over and above what you actually needed,
right? So
to them, doesn't matter. Like 5,000, we don't need them.
Yeah,
right?
they're just
right.
But
you have to. But remember, we did the story a couple weeks back, right? If you look how many people they hired during COVID, and you look how many people they fired right now, then the total number, it's still net positive that they hired people.
Right.
Between 2021 and 2025, between the hirings and the firings, if you add it all up, what's the net? The net is positive. They've hired more people, but they just hired too many people.
Right. Well, now they're
and AI just made it worse. They just fired.
You know what's going to happen from all of these AI type of stuff? Like when.
What do you mean AI is shafting a lot of jobs? Water. What do you mean? I mean, is everybody fucking surprised at this point? Did we not say this is exactly what was going to happen, and exponentially quicker?
Yeah, exponentially quicker. So it's going to turn out to be where it's like, remember when the farm industry, where people were like, clean GMO type of stuff, you know what I mean? Where you had to put labels on certain, farm fresh. Like when you go to the grocery store, there's like a whole other section where it was like higher prices because it was, it was fresh or green or GMO, whatever, the term that they use. That's what's going to happen here, right? So you're going to have AI created stuff, and you're going to have man-made stuff, right? And man-made stuff could cost more because someone actually worked on it. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to make an AI game, obviously they're going to try to get $80, but we, the people, are going to be like, I don't want to play AI games, right? Now, obviously, this is not going to work out this way because you're not going to know. But
you're not going to know.
In some way, shape, or form, people will look at it and go, I'm only going to buy stuff that I know is made.
Good luck.
By people, right?
Good luck.
That's what's going to happen, though. It's going to be a small little group of an industry, sort of like when you go to the grocery store, where everything's got processed shit in it, right? Like an apple's not actually an apple; it's like altered apple that was made in a laboratory, right? Or you can get the fresh apple that they got off the tree, and that costs way more than the apple that's on the other side of the counter. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. That's what I feel is going to happen, right? With all this AI stuff. So
wasn't there a story out like just recently? Was it Microsoft? Was it which company was it where they the developers made AI for some project?
You're getting ahead of us. Yeah.
Oh,
the story inside the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a story that was just what is it?
Just recently.
Yeah. That's King. Where is it? Let me find it. No. Nope.
Like immediate.
Here
like it just happened.
Yeah, July 15th. 200 King staff laid off, and Xbox will be replaced them by AI internal memo reveals. Right. So these people inside
they made the AI,
made the AI to help them make the game. And now they're
then they fired them.
Basically, they were making their replacement.
Yeah, they were trading their replacement.
They were making their replacement.
Yeah.
So if you think about this, people are like, there's no way they're going to make level design for big games. But King works on mobile games, right? Like Candy Crush is just a bunch of things on the screen, and they just alter them around, and you know what I mean. So they're like, how do we make this easy? Instead of having Susie come in every single day and make another board, have Susie make the algorithm for the AI so it could just procedurally make a board.
And get rid of Susie.
Yeah, Susie doesn't need to work there anymore. Thanks, Susie. Right? Like that's what's happening. Right? So an internal memo sent on staff has been announced that the 200 developers who were laid off at King earlier this month will be replaced by AI. The internal memo provided that Mobile Game Biz addressed the question why people at the company were being laid off. The email reads, why is this happening?
Why?
The industry is changing fast, and our business has not been growing.
Bullshit.
Well,
let's
just say, okay, great, it's not growing, right? Remember, it always has to do this, right? If it does this,
nope.
It's got to do this, right? So they're making $1 billion, but they want to make $2 billion, or they want to make $3 billion, and they can't do that because Susie's in the way. Susie's salary's in the way, so they're like, Susie, we need to fire you.
And just call that the salute, bro.
Yeah,
that's what the gaming companies need to salute. Gotta have that recurring revenue.
You can't
do
this. You can't do this.
Nope.
Right? You don't want to go higher than this because that's something else, right? So that's what it is. Okay. So as they talked before, is making several changes to get the business back to growth. Here's my issue. Look.
What? Let me ask you a question.
I love capitalism. I love capitalism.
I can't start like this.
I love capitalism, but at the same time, if I'm making 90 cents on a dollar, right? I'm making 90 cents on the dollar. I'm still profitable, right? To make my company better, I would share the profit with the other people in the company so they feel better working. No. And I'm still making a shit ton of money.
No,
they're like, we could make 92 cents and 95 cents and 98 cents and 99 cents per dollar. And they're like, sorry, gotta let everyone go. We're not making enough money.
Let me ask you a question. If a market is a subsection of the populace, okay, that's what a market is. When you talk about the market, doesn't mean everybody all the time. You pick the product. Like if I pick washing machines, and what's your market? Your market is actual households, right? Not people. It'd be household numbers, right? So if your product is a mobile game, okay, your market is the fucking planet. Okay,
the entire
that's planet. Your market is the planet. Whoever has a phone.
Yeah, it's like 3.8 billion mobile phones in the world.
So if you made a game and people aren't playing it, it's not because it's not a growth industry. It's because everybody saw it at one point and no one gives a shit. You can't get a bigger market than the fucking planet. I don't understand. What is this? If your game sucks and no one wants to play it, I'm sorry, it's not a growth industry. You don't get bigger than the fucking world, bro. What's the market? What's the market?
Everyone has a phone, right? Everybody has a phone.
I don't understand, bro. We gotta let people go because we just weren't growing in our King mobile games, so we had to let people go. I'm sorry, haven't you been kicking ass for the last 10 years with your $3 billion a quarter? I've been keeping track of mobile games. The fact that we talk about gaming news here, but we just kind of skim over the mobile market every week, and the mobile market is killing everybody. Everybody and everything, they're making money hand over fist.
Here, let me read this, right? There's currently more mobile devices than people in the world. In 2022, there were 8.58 billion mobile subscriptions, exceeding global population of 7.95 billion, according to the World Economic
That's a lot of burner phones. Yeah, guys, let's do this.
Specifically, there are around 7.43 billion smartphones globally. They're like, we ain't growing, guys. We just can't make enough money. Susie, get the fuck out. We need to make more money, right? Like,
bro, that's a lot of burn phones, bro.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot of burner phones.
7.95 billion.
Even if I use all the CIA and all the spies on the planet, that's nowhere near 1 million people, bro. Like all the spies have burner phones and stuff, and cartels have burner phones. But that's an extra billion phones, bro. That is a lot of burner phones that people have.
There's homeless people with phones, Sarge.
Yeah, but they still count as people.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm saying a homeless person that has no home has a phone that they can play Candy Crush on, right?
It's not. You know why? I know why. Remember those things we used to watch? It was a couple months back where the guys doing the call center stuff and the sales stuff, those guys in India have like 10 phones apiece.
Yeah.
They're all the phones.
Yeah, they have the 100 phones in front of them. Yeah.
Right. That's what it is.
Whatever. There's still 7.95 billion. Even if you get 100 million of the 7.95 billion, that's way more money than you'll ever need in your entire life.
That's crazy, bro. Absolutely. The amount of money that the mobile gaming market makes is obscene. It's just obscene.
That's mobile phones. That's mobile devices, Dupless. Yeah. It's just mobile devices. So it could be a tablet, it could be a cell phone, whatever. Something that's connected to the phone. So you're paying. So not a tablet that's not connected to to not internet. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have to connect my iPod through a Wi-Fi network, that is not mobile phones, like mobile devices that you have internet connection where you could download Candy Crush on. 7.95 billion devices. So
that's insane, bro.
It's
insane. So I'm sorry. How would you like to grow? What part of the market would you like to grow?
Well, let me bring this back up here, right?
What part of the market would you like to grow? The planet. We're talking about the planet. How do you grow the planet?
It says the industry is changing fast and our business has not been growing, and it happened to be must not only look outside the competitors in the market, but also inside. We've talked about before that making the several changes and getting the business back to growth unlock many more AI tools is one recent example. Investing more in marketing this year is another, right? Yeah, marketing. That's what it is, right? We're fortunate to have many talented individuals at King, but we also have collective problem. The size and structure of the company as often makes it difficult to get things done. So we've planned a simplified organization, fewer layers, fewer overlapping, fewer hours spent of alignment, and fewer people in meetings, fewer stakeholders for every project. Many leaders across King have been asked to redesign their organizations to smaller overall. There's also some new roles created, and these redesigns and the rebalancing of headcount across King, but overall King will be a smaller company. Mobile Game continues to say that the staff is let go will also be replaced by the AI tools they built and trained. These employees include level designers and copywriters. Okay, so they got replaced.
Let's mark it down. They're going to fire some more people. Let's see when the bonus checks come out.
Well,
let's see when the bonus checks come out.
That's a completely different story.
Well, let's see when the bonus checks come out. We're gonna fire all these people, bro, because we got to cut back. We we just can't grow. We just can't expand. We just can't get. We've been trying really hard. Our guys have been trying really hard, and we just can't seem to get over the hump. So we're gonna have to let some people go. We're gonna have to restructure. And after we hired 100,000 people, we realized that we're too bloated now for some strange reason, and now we have to get rid of 90,000 people. It's just the way business is.
Well, it's funny that you say about bonuses, right? So Sarge doesn't know this. Before the show starts,
I don't know a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no. Before the show starts, I just tell Sarge a title, but he doesn't know what the article's about, right? So, upcoming Xbox Game Pass title Subnautica 2 is facing boycotting after publisher Krafton Inc. allegedly nuked devs' bonuses and ousted leadership, or leaders. So, what's happening here, Sarge, is Subnautica was supposed to come out in 2025, okay? But Krafton decided to delay it to 2026. And because Krafton delayed it to 2026, there was supposed to be a bonus if they got it out in 2025. But Krafton delayed it to 2026, so they didn't have to pay the bonus.
Yeah, it's called Dick Move. That's what it's called.
So here's couple of updates here, right? So this story came out a couple days ago. It updated on the 11th, the 12th, and the 15th. Okay. So the update on the 11th was Crafton Inc. was responded to with a drama pointing to blame the Unknown Worlds leader. Crafton Inc. went as far as suggesting Unknown Worlds leaders were pursuing other projects instead of working on Subnautica 2. Unknown Worlds former founders have announced plans to sue Crafton. So we'll read more below.
Yep,
the second update,
sue them. Absolutely.
Right? The second update was Crafton has issued a statement confirming the leaked slides detailing the game's milestones are real, and the leaked slides suggest that Subnautica 2 had missed milestones, leading to a reduction in the game's scope. This is also a pretty standard part of the game development in general, but if you find out more, the dispute remains over whether or not the Crafton Inc. acted in bad faith when ousting the game's founders, leading the bonus agreements being squashed and seem increasingly likely that it's also to go to court. And on July 15th, Bloomberg is reporting that Crafton Inc. has extended the bonus period now beyond 2025 through to 2026. The huge matter of controversy revolved around whether or not the developers would be eligible for bonuses agreed to be paid out in the game shipped by the end of 2025. Now, Crafton delaying the game at Backlash ensued, but Crafton has now extended the period. So here's another example of someone doing something scummy business practice where, hey, we're going to give you a bonus. Oh, by the way, you guys didn't hit these goals that we set for you. And now we have to delay the game, and because we're delaying the game, you get no bonus, right? But now they ousted it. They put it out to the market. Like, now it's in public. Now everyone's talking about it, so they're like, oh, just kidding. We're going to give you back your bonus, and you have until the end of 2026, right? So now we have to sit back and wait and see if Subnautica 2 comes out and it's finished and hits the things, but...
Yeah, but you have to understand, though, that when the contract is signed... and there's a contract within the company to issue bonuses to the employees for whatever reason it is. Like, why is it that we have to have lawyers on top of lawyers to go through the contract with a fine-tooth comb? Because the actual company, after offering you the contract, will then go through the contract and find its own loophole to not give you the bonuses that they signed you up for. Right? That's the issue that I have with this. Right? Because it wasn't just a fly-by-night thing where they decided, we're not going to give you bonuses. You had to go through your own contract and find out where the loophole was in order not to issue the bonuses. Otherwise, you go against your contract. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just set up for that. It's not set up that, well, we're going to give you bonuses, but we also have a back door just in case we don't want to give you a bonus.
Pone says, not that Subnautica needs it, but I feel like this is an advertisement. It could be an advertisement, but here...
Bad publicity is still good publicity.
Well, that's not always true, but here's the thing. It keeps it...
Just look at Borderlands 4.
Yeah, it keeps it in mind. But Subnautica 2 is coming out on Game Pass, right? So, Sure, it's advertisement for it, but a lot of people are probably going to play it like they did the first one, where they didn't buy it. Right, the majority of the people tried it first for the demo, or they played it on Game Pass or whatnot. I don't know. I think you might have some sort of plausibility there, where it's like an advertisement type thing. But why would you drag it? Why would you drag the company through the mud to do it? Do you know what I mean?
Because
it's different.
You can.
Well,
because you can.
Yeah, but Crafton's the same people that saved Tango Gameworks from Microsoft, right?
Yeah, but you think that because of this a hero moment in the gaming industry, because of one dev team, you think that becomes the hero for the rest of the movie? That's not this kind of movie, right? The hero in the beginning of the movie becomes the villain by the end of the movie. Like, that's the movie that we're living in now, right? It doesn't matter how good you think the company is. The company does what the company needs to do to survive, right? So whatever they have to do, whether it's hire 100, fire 90, promise bonuses, then get rid of the bonuses, like, they do whatever they have to do. It's up to the actual people to then find lawyers, class actions, sue if you have to. You have to do all these things to protect yourself, right? Because the company's not protecting you.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is what Pone's saying is that they're using this as advertisement. Look, reportedly arbitrarily delayed the game, and why. The current reporting suggests that avoid paying out the milestone bonus to the game's developers, amounting to 25 million shares, right, to 40 people. There's other ways to advertise and market this game besides dragging this public thing of going, oh, we're not going to get our bonus, right? Like, why would you do this to go? Because right now, I look at Crafton and go, you're a bunch of fucking assholes, right? You're assholes. You're trying to destroy these developers or dick them out of 25 million shares between 40 staff members. Okay, that doesn't seem like an advertisement to be like, oh my god,
$25 million shared between 40 people.
Correct. Right now, I hear opponents saying because of this. Well, hold on.
What happens if the bonus was tied to actual sales? So if you put out the bad publicity and the sales don't get as high as you want, but you still sell the sales, then you don't have to give them the bonus.
Right. Well, now this could do an effect of, well, and here I think it was Poe, see if this is tracking what you're trying to say. Okay. Because of this, he's saying it's like an advertisement, because now it's like people go, oh man, I like Subnautica. I like these devs. Craft and dick them over. I'm going to buy the copy of the game. Because of what crap, you see what I'm saying? Like it could be spin that way.
Completely.
That's why I said
plausible.
I can see what he's saying is plausible. All right, but I don't know. There's other ways to promote the game without dragging your own company through it, the publisher. I don't know. Pone says that. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, and that's why I said I can see your plausibility for what you're saying, but I don't know, man. There's other ways to do it. Are you going to get more people to go, oh man, I hate Crafton, so I'm going to buy Subnautica? Because they're still going to give Crafton the money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Now we're like, oh, poor devs must pre-order. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Krebsy says a few weeks ago, I was said that games that are in development for 7 years should be closed, but now a studio who's fucking around should still be paid $250 million. I mean, I don't think games should take this long, right? I agree with you there. But for the company to be like, hey, because they were coming out, but Crafton delayed it, and then say you're not getting your bonus. That's different than the company going, hey, we're not coming out. Like, it's coming out. They promoted it. It was supposed to come out this year, and then Crafton, the publisher, was like, no, we're going to delay it. Oh, by the way, you don't get your bonus anymore. Like, that's a completely different problem. It's a dick move.
But it still sounds, but adding up all the positive and negatives through this whole process, it still sounds exactly like cause the problem, sell the solution. You tell us that it costs more to make games, but your company's bloated. You tell us that there's too many people and we didn't sell enough games because it's our fault, so we have to fire people. Then you say, well, we're going to do some AI stuff so we don't hire enough people and then fire more people because we have the AI. So it's like you keep saying all these things, but the price of the game is still staying the same. Like I remember the entire conversation when we originally said that the games were going to go digital. Everybody blew sunshine smoke up their own asses and said, well, the games will go digital and we'll just save money. The price of the game will go down. Right? You're retarded, right? You have no idea how business works. All they did was increase their profit margins. Okay. Games went digital, profit margin expanded. Raised game price, profit margin expanded. Fired all the devs, right? More AI, profit margin expanded. I don't understand what is it you guys think happens in the real world? Do you guys you flop over from mushroom to mushroom, your little fairy wings, and you think that's the world, how the world works? I don't understand, right? The only way that this shit changes is through us, right? No petitions in England. I can give a million to petitions.
Just stop.
None of that shit.
Just stop buying the shit.
Cold heart shit. Stop buying. Completely. Cut them off at the fucking source. No more money for you. I don't care about the devs. I don't care about your company. I care about the fact that you're treating my industry that we built, and I'm saying me because I'm the old fuck in the room. All right, we built this industry. I don't need you. I'll wait for the indie dev. I'll wait for somebody else who has a backbone and wants to be passionate and create art. I'll pay them. I won't pay you. Right? I can't wait to see these guys go away. I can't wait. I can't wait to the title that we talk about is EA closes down. Right? When the headline says EA has to shut down, party at my house. Everybody gets an invitation. Party at my house.
Here it says Subnautica Allison founders have claimed that the game's delay is effectively arbitrary, noting that the game is ready to hit early access targets already. Krafton disagreed, saying that the game needs more content before it can hit early access. The delay reportedly frees Krafton's Inc. and having to pay out aforementioned bonus, leading to the fans crying foul and subsequently calls for boycott. The new trailer above was posted yesterday. There's also might expected comments flooded in. It says, "Give their devs their bonus, Krafton." I see it's already happening. Delaying and cutting directors to save money is actually something Altera would do. Love the new levels of immersion. Clearly, Subnautica was prophecy in game format, because it's also ended up predicting that the evil corporation would steal money and resources from an unknown world. Funny how that works. Devs do really deserve 250 million bonus. We ain't forgetting that. Fucking love. It says, fucking love how united the comment section is on this. Yes, Krafton. Yeah, give the devs the damn bonus, right? So there you go. So basically what Pone was saying is, yeah, you're going to get these people that come in and be like, yeah, we're not going to support this. There's like a thematic here, you know, as we go through with stories. Like I talked about it today, right? We watched Bueller News where he's talking about the Stop Killing Games thing and how long it takes. It's going to take like 9 months once it goes through. Then they have to go back and check it. They have to check the names and do all the stuff. And max limit is 15 months. At 15 months, they're going to get to it, but it could be 15 months. Well, they get to the 15 months, and then the company goes, yeah, no, we're not going to do it. Right? It doesn't matter about the guys who say yay or nay, and we're going to make this law and this rule. They're like, you know, we're not going to do that. And by that time, we just kind of move on, and hopefully people forget about it. That's what they do.
I've been shouting from the rafters for the last 2-3 years, consumer protection, right? The only thing that is supposed to happen now is because the European Union rules and regulations for products is a little bit better than ours because my freedom, right? This is basically when you have less regulations in certain aspects, they take advantage of you. In our country, for businesses, it does it. Instead of the company proving themselves in what they ought to do, they get to do what they want regardless, and it's up to you to fight them the entire time. It's not a protection of the consumer here. The business comes up with the idea, the business has the business model, they do what they're going to do, and then it takes some kind of outrage to be like, hey, this guy's got my account number and he's doxing me and he has my credit card numbers and he's charging me every month, and all I said was, yes, I'd like to look at your demo. There's like this whole hurdles of stuff that we have to go through, but for somehow we're under the gun that we have to pay all this money out to these companies, and we're like, and then all of a sudden we go, wait, I didn't sign up for that. When did the easy question is this? When did I buy the game? I buy the object. I use the object. The object is now mine. The object sits in my house. Now all of a sudden is I have an object. It's kind of there, sort of. And then when they feel like it, they're going to take my object away because I don't own it. How did that change? How did it change?
It changed because of digital. That's right. It.
Yes, but the actual physicality of it wasn't the deciding factor whether you owned it or not. I purchased the license to use. Yeah. It was always the same. It doesn't mean you get to take it from me, though. Right? The stop killing game thing is two things at the same time. One is protecting the fact that I own the product. Correct. The other one is, which they keep throwing in the background for people to make it sound better, like, well, you don't want to get rid of the games because how are we supposed to keep it in a museum for people to remember what it's like? That part of it's kind of bullshit. Because if I had the product, regardless, we wouldn't have to worry about the museum because someone would actually have it at some point and still hold on to it. Right? The stop killing game things is just to get the foot in the door to protect consumers for products they buy that are digital. Right? There was no difference between digital or non-digital. All of a sudden, the words changed. I clicked OK, right? But the words in that giant 14-page paragraph changed to saying temporary license as opposed to you own the product or you bought the license.
Right. Well, they're arguing that we can't afford to keep this thing open for you to play because there's not going to be enough. The cost compared to the people playing is not enough, right? Like Anthem's closing down now because there's no one playing it, right? But when a game is done in the past, right? Like I'm not playing Pitfall right now, right? I still own Pitfall. I can go back and play Pitfall. I can go back and play my old Mario games, right? I still own those things. Even though it's a license, I still own them. I can turn them in and turn them on and play. Right.
That's
Now,
that's what the part of the price was.
yeah,
I
now
own
there's
the
live
license.
service games, and they like, oh yeah, well we're shutting down the thing, but we don't want to put it into a server. That would cost us more. And then they're like, well, we don't want to put it on a server because if we put it on a server, you could be attacked by certain hackers and stuff. And it's like, I laugh because I'm being attacked and hacked now.
Microsoft,
yeah, with all these companies.
Yeah. How many times did they lose information and got hacked? How many times?
Yeah, 14 times.
So what are we talking about your so-called security? That if you guys don't hold on to the games in your servers, that we can't have it.
Right.
Please.
There's already games right now. Star Wars Galaxies is being run and operated on a private server for people to play the game, right?
Yep. And I'm sure
all we're saying is,
and I'm sure that poor guy's got a triple mortgage, and he's probably eating cat food.
All we're saying is, hey, when you're done with this, just if you're not doing anything with
source,
you don't want to do it, but they don't want to do open source because there could be some of their coding in there that could make them happen. And they know their technology. It's like you're not sending things up to space, man. You're just making a video game.
Yeah, then I guess you maybe should have held on to it then. Or I should be able to play it normally. If you don't want me to have to worry about getting servers for it, then maybe the game should just be open as a single player game, and I should be able to play it regardless. And you won't have to worry about that. You won't have to worry about the server.
Here's my thing though, right? Let's say there's 10 people playing the game, just 10. Okay, 10 people in the entire world playing Anthem right now. EA makes billions and billions of dollars. You're telling me they can't put one server in their server room that the 10 people can play on and just leave it, let it go?
Not worth it.
Not worth it for who?
Not worth
They've
it. Not
already
worth it
paid
for them.
the servers there. They're just putting it. Right?
Not worth it to them.
They're not spending any more money. The thing's already there.
Nope.
It's already there.
Operating costs.
Oh, so stupid.
You got to look at all the numbers, bro. You're looking at the temporary numbers. I got to look at all.
I'm looking at the room of servers.
Yeah.
And what they have on those servers is what it is, right? If they're like, it's not cost effective.
But you're paying for that server to be in that.
But they're going to pay for that server anyway because they own the servers.
That's correct. They are paying for that server, but they want people they want things inside that server that are making them more money than the thing that you only 10 people are playing. That's why. Because you're making it's almost like the server is like another store is like a store in the universe.
They are making $28. They can sell one microtransaction skin and pay for that server for the entire year.
Not enough, bro.
Don't tell me that they can't. It's just operations, man. I don't know where we're going to get the money from. Gotta keep it. You know what? Ask the 10 people, hey, would you like to pay a fee to keep the server running? That's too much work.
And they'll charge.
We got to hire Ted here to sit there and watch the server room.
And they'll charge them $200 a month. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, but people do that now for their games.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is, they look at every level of the product as them making or losing money. Right? If a game has been sitting for too long, they have 40 or like 60 people, 80 people working on a game, and it hasn't come out yet. All of a sudden, somebody decided to audit all the companies. All of a sudden, somebody came in and said, hey, we have 60 people. We're paying them a total of $2.38 million to make this game. The game hasn't come out yet. What was it slated to come out? Right? It was supposed to be a 4-year cycle. We're on year 7. Do you have anything? No. Then they go, then we don't need this. And they cut it. And that's why those people get fired. They're doing this across the board because all of a sudden they realized that they're spending all this money, but nothing's coming in. So all of a sudden they woke up. They woke up out of a coma and they figured all these guys that they have working on games. I mean, do we even have to go through the list of games that were canceled? Like, I understand that we have the conversation where they tell you out loud, they go, well, you don't understand the gaming development system. Like, throughout the course of a 5-year period, they might be 50 ideas, 20 to get turned into games, 10 get started, 3 get canceled, and 5 come out. Like, they go through this whole process. They talk to you like that. Like, I'm like, okay, I get that. But what is it now all of a sudden that you're saying that all these studios that have been working on games, everyone's done? Just, we're canceling that. We're canceling. Like, where's your revenue stream if you're canceling all the products that are supposed to come out within the next year or two, and you canceled those games this close to the finish line? Where is the replacement for the revenue that was going to be generated by these products? So the only way,
and the things,
the only way you can do that is by saying that the revenue we are making on titles that are existing right now with MTX and battle passes and whatever else, whatever the exterior revenue, I call it, instead of the interior revenue, the exterior revenue that we're harvesting from them is greater than if we finish out the cycle of this game and sell it.
Yeah,
right.
You mean
that's the only way you would do that? That's the only way you would do that. You wouldn't slaughter your own cow at a dairy farm unless you had a replacement, unless you got something else going on. You don't kill your own cows, but they're okay killing their own cows, which means there's other stuff happening in the back.
Right.
That's the only way you stay open.
All right. The next story we're going to talk about.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
So crazy Uncle Nintendo here. Okay. Nintendo is taking desperate measures in the patent infringement case against Palworld, and it's looking a little weird. Okay. So if you don't know this, Sarge, so the patent that they're doing, okay, if you remember, is that they couldn't throw a ball at the animals anymore, at the pals, because it's too much like Pokemon. They can't mount on the characters, and they had to change that. So what Pocket Pair is doing, Palworld creators, okay, the game's not out yet, right? Because it's still in early access, right? It's still been out for like a year and a little bit, right? And it's still in early access or beta, whatever you want to call it. So Nintendo is trying to sue them for patents that they filed after the fact of the game coming out, right? So right there alone, they shouldn't even have a case, but they do because it's crazy Uncle Nintendo, okay? So Nintendo is trying to sue them, but Palworld is changing super fast. They're like, all right, you don't want us to do this? Fine. We got rid of the throwing balls, so there's no throwing balls in the game anymore. You don't like the mounts? Great. We changed the mounts. So now Nintendo is changing the patent to try to predict what Palworld is going to do in the future so they can change the patent so they can't do that, right? The fact that they have to try to change the patent mid-lawsuit, I don't know what judge is looking at this going, yeah, it's fine. Like, Nintendo's like, here you go, right? Because it's absurd because the entire lawsuit is on $66,000. Not $66 million, not $6.6 billion, $66,000. That was
the premise. They're trying to
they're trying to set a precedent here for everybody else to not fuck with us or any IP that we have. If you're thinking about making a Mario Kart game, you better think again, because if you put a character in a vehicle and that vehicle rides on a track, we might have a patent for that, so you can't make a game like that, right? That's what they're doing. They're doing that for Pokemon, and Palworld's like, all right, fine, we'll just change it over here. And Nintendo's like, oh, wait a minute, they outsmarted us. They changed the thing before the game came out, so we got to figure a way to put it in a patent so they can't do the thing that we want them to do, because if they get this and we put the patent, and this is the patent that's given, and they change it, well, they can get around that, right? It's so much bullshit, okay? This alone, Sarge, will make me never buy Nintendo again. If Nintendo wins this case, my son will not know what Nintendo is, okay? Because he will never own a Nintendo while he lives in my household, okay? Because this is so petty of Nintendo to try to stop other people. I gave an example earlier today. I said, imagine I wanted to open up a mini golf course, okay? And I opened a mini golf course hundreds of years after everybody else opened a mini golf course, okay? And I patent the golf club to the ball to the hole. I patent the actual technology where you hit the golf club to the ball and the ball goes to the hole. I patent that. Nobody else is allowed to make a mini golf course. That's what Nintendo's doing right now.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Nintendo, okay? Because this is so much bullshit what you're doing to Palworld. And they stayed quiet. They waited for Palworld to come out because we all thought ahead of time, oh, this game's going to get sued. But nothing happened, right? Then they started making a shit ton of money. And Nintendo was like, oh, man, they made a better game than we did because we made a broken, buggy, unfinished Pokemon game.
That's correct.
Minimal viable product. And we don't want competition, so we're going to have to do something about this. Let's just get the lawyer fees, $66,000 or whatever, okay? And let's try to do this. Let's get the patent so nobody else can ever do this again.
Yeah, well, you have to remember the consumer protection things that we've been talking about for a while. This is part of it. Nintendo has been doing this stuff for years. They want to be able to have a product in their own sphere that nobody can touch, the golden unicorn that they can sell without worry, right? Regardless of how good the product is. This is why it's very important to have competition amongst companies.
It's better for everybody.
right? I don't think we even need to be proving this at this point. Every single game that had exclusive rights done for one system or another and just repeated on for years has all been substandard. No upgrades, nothing new, nothing substantial, just the same shit regurgitated every year because nobody else is allowed to make it, right? None of that should be allowed, right? It's an art industry. It's not a widget industry. I say it all the time. This is about creation of things, not about making a little thing. Like
Right.
I made this. We're gonna make these. We're not making widgets. Okay. We're making art, right? Art should be allowed to be built however they want to build it. If someone is directly copying everything you do, you have a lost pad, that's completely fine.
Right.
But copy a similar motion or type of mechanic in a game is not copyright infringement. Otherwise, shooting a gun would be a copyright
Exactly.
like you would, like Call of Duty
Right.
and Activision.
Figure a different way to shoot a gun. It's like
You're not allowed
how?
to shoot guns. You wouldn't be allowed to
Right.
shoot guns. So the act of throwing something is patented. Like it's nonsensical. But this is what Nintendo does because Nintendo has to protect their giant little prairie ranch of their products, right? Because they know that if their little Shangri-La is infiltrated by something else, then they're going to lose their share, their market share that they have, because somebody else, lo and behold, like it happens in every other industry, somebody else will look at a product and say, wow, that was fun, but this, and this could be better. Now, we all say that. We say that in chat all the time. People criticize a game all the time. Then, surprisingly, for some reason, somebody like us who criticizes also has money, also has friends, also has business partners, and they go, do you think we could do something better? And yet they get together, they decide that they're going to start a business, and that's how business gets started. I didn't know if you guys do this. People with ideas find other people with
That's
ideas.
crazy, Sarge.
And then those people find people with money, and they get together. It's incredible, right? They get together and decide to make something, right? So now the premise is, well, we don't want other new people to make shit.
Right.
We want to be the ones that make shit. We want to be the only ones that make shit. I can't see how that would go wrong. I can't see how
Look at Madden. No competition.
every game that does it gets broken. Everything, every single one. I don't understand what we're talking about at some point.
Look, right now, Souls-like games are a dime a dozen. There's so many Souls-like games. Could you imagine if Nintendo patented the Souls type? What would happen? Would they sue every other game because it's a Souls-like type of game? Like,
well, what I'm waiting for, and it's gonna have to be an indie developer, right? I'm waiting for a guy to make fun of the whole thing by making like some kind of like blocky, some kind of game that copies everything that Nintendo does, except it's done so poorly that they can't relate it to them. Like it would be like a block with hair throwing a dot with a streak on it. And
it
like,
doesn't matter. They're patenting the actual.
But you know what?
Thing.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Somebody would do it on purpose just to prove their point. Like someone would do it on purpose to draw attention, because it's at some point it becomes just nonsense that you think that you have the right to cordon off an entire area of art to be just yours, right? It's not just making a product. It's art. Let these people do. The best games we ever got is when everybody was competed against everybody else. The minute that the corpos realized how much money they could make in gaming, and they started buying up studios so they could have a fresh new game every so many years for us monkeys to like to buy whatever to play all the time. That's when everything started going downhill, guys. I don't know if you guys remember the golden age of gaming where we had games coming up our asses all the day long. Like this game's coming out in the summer, this game's coming out in the fall. Like these development studios all had great ideas. They would get together and like, hey, why don't we collaborate, make a game like this? They'd be like, yeah, let's do that. Then all of a sudden, Uncle Corpo comes over and goes, oh no, we have to be in part of this. We can't have the peasants making money without us being a part of it. So let's deviate some of our money from sports, media, and music, and let's infiltrate the gaming industry because our way is the right way.
Right.
Please. Trash.
Well, let's
Trash.
go. Let's talk about the next one. Talk about lots of money. GTA 6 will make $7 billion in 2 months. It's predicted. Okay.
I got news for you. When this game comes out, this game will single-handedly destroy the industry.
What do you mean it's going to single-handedly destroy it?
It'll single-handedly destroy the industry because it'll factor in all the money factor for what it took to make a game like this, and for the corpos to think that they can make a game like this because they can't look at a number like that without salivating, right? And killing their temporary girlfriend because they have to go find someone else to kill because they have to be part of this. They have to be part of this psychoticness, right? And so what ends up happening is the amount of money that the game will make will cause studios to fire a bunch of people to put them in a mega studio because they want to make a game like this.
Right, like this.
Right?
Yeah.
And what the problem is they don't
Mind's Eye was so close.
Yeah, they don't have the other companies don't have the roots. They don't have the roots in place. Like Grand Theft Auto was cultivated over decades.
Yeah.
Right? The
No,
player
they
base
just want
was
to jump to the head of the line.
over
They don't want to put the time in.
decades.
Yeah.
Right. They're trying to make like an entire trilogy of movies without introducing any characters. Like everybody else wants to be GTA, you're not going to. And because the game will make this much money, it will break everything else. It's going to break it. It's going to break what it is to have a company and make a game. It's going to break the system.
Well,
right.
Let's look at this real fast, right? So it says GTA 6 will likely be the biggest game launch in history. It's set to shatter records worldwide and easily shift millions upon millions of copies within minutes of hitting the shelves, okay? One venture capital firm driven by investment is gaming taking an analytic stance, making a bunch of predictions, including the ambitious suggestion that GTA 6 will make $7.6 billion in revenue in just 60 days, okay? So as they say here, they show this little chart here. And on this chart, it says pre-orders. Now, I said this years ago. I said that they will have more pre-orders than Cyberpunk. They will break that record. They will break the record of day one. They'll break the record of week one. They'll break the record of month one. They'll break the record of year one. Now, I don't know if they'll break the record for biggest game ever sold, but who knows, right? So here it says pre-orders they think are going to be about 10 million units. Okay, 10 million units. So that's 800 million just off of pre-orders alone, because they're just suggesting it's going to be an $80 game. Okay, day one, they're going to have an additional 15 million units sold day one when it comes out. So that's an additional 1.2 billion. Okay, just on day one. So within just pre-orders and day one sales, they're at $2 billion right there. Okay, $2 billion. Okay, day three, they're going to go on and sell another 10 million units. Day 7, after the week 1, okay, by week 7, they'll sell another 5 million units by day 7. Okay, so that's a total of 4, what is that, 8, 16, that's 3.2, that's $3.8 billion in a week. Okay, by the end of the month, day 30, they're going to sell another 20 million units total. So total now, they have 60 million units sold by day 30, okay, at $80 a piece. And then by day 60, they're going to sell another additional 25. So they have 85 million units sold by day 60, which gives them a total of 85 million, which is $6.8 billion. Now, that's just on copies sold. That's not including the GTA subscriptions that they think they're going to get. Okay.
Yeah, I think that day one number is wrong. I think it's probably going to be a lot higher.
You think it's going to be higher?
Yeah. Like the day one copy sold is going to be higher
than 15 million?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think
it's going to be,
because if you think about it, look at the copies sold for a Call of Duty or
right, it's 30 million
of one of the sports games.
Yeah, but they sell 30 million in the year.
Yeah, no,
like
I get that.
Hogwarts Legacy sold 35 million copies in 1 year. You're saying that Grand Theft Auto will get 35 million in a day.
It's a worldwide game. It's not. It's cross.
No, I agree.
It's cross demographics. It's not a specific genre of game for specific people. For some strange reason, it crosses the most boundaries.
So do you
right?
think when pre-orders go live, they
Because
get more than 10 million?
well, the reason why I say that is because like I know women play games, right? But I'm looking at it. When I look at a GTA game, I'm thinking about all the dudes out there who've been playing video games, who've played Grand Theft Auto, and I'm looking at it as saying that the people that played the original Grand Theft Autos are the same people that are still around that on occasion might play a video game, like your brother-in-law, like he might play a video game,
Yeah, he's coming
and
back
GTA
to video games.
and GTA 6 is
Yeah.
one of those games where if you have not played a video game in a while and you remember that and you know GTA, you would come back for this one. That's what I mean by like generational spanning of like that type of game. So that being said, you're looking at a generation and a half, maybe even 2 generations of people now since the original Grand Theft Auto started, right? That are in the wings looking at it saying, "Oh, I didn't know that was coming out. I might have to take a look at it." And so 15 million to me is like the normal kids right now. Like that's the normal kids right now. That's not counting like everybody else who's played Grand Theft Auto. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that the day one sales, like the week one sales, is going to be a little higher than you think. There might be a drop off for a while, and it'll keep selling well. But I think the initial pre-order and day one numbers will be higher.
Well, look, if they're selling 85 million copies by day 60, they're easily going to sell 100 million in the first year.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think it'll take a whole year to sell 100 million.
But what I'm saying, though, is that if they're at 85 at day 60, to sell an additional 15 million for the rest
that's
10
what I
more
mean.
months.
That's what I mean.
So, look, I said it ago, and I'll say it again. Like, it's going to break all the records. I don't know if it'll break the overall record. We won't know that for years, right? Like, right now, the number one selling game of all time is Minecraft, okay? But Minecraft also wasn't $80, right? So, money-wise, Grand Theft Auto has surpassed Minecraft because $60 instead of $30. So it's double the price, right? They have 320 million units sold, and I think Grand Theft Auto has 250 million units sold.
Yeah, but I'm laughing at your price. I'm also laughing at the price. I don't think it's going to be $80.
You think it's going to be more than?
I think it might be more. Well, the special ordered ones will be.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think they're going to do this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. What if they come out and it's just a $70 game? They're not going to go 60. But they come out at the $70 price point.
If
do they make these numbers and they just shatter this? Because now it's no longer an $80 game; it's a $70 game. Do you think people will buy even more?
Well, let's put it this way, right? You're in charge. You're in charge of Rockstar, right? You know how much money you're making on GTA Online, right? You know how much money you're making, right?
Yeah.
You have been receiving this revenue now for about 10 years. The GTA Online recurring revenue. So that money has given you the ability to hire enough people to make a game that's so ridiculous in scope that I haven't heard them bitch the entire time they've been making it, because that's how much money they have, right? Now, we're not talking about the rest of the games. We're just talking about GTA Online. That's it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, when you have that much money and that much time that you don't need to release a game, and not only did you not need to release a game, but you canceled every other game that you were going to make because there was no reason to make those games, because the revenue stream from Grand Theft Auto Online was enough to sustain the company this long, right? If you were smart and you know you're going to make another GTA Online for this game, right? It's going to happen. It's not like it's not going to happen. Now, it might not be right away. When they came out with GTA Online 5 originally, it was a little messy, right? They had to work the kinks out and stuff out. And I'm sure this is going to have the same kind of problems. It might not be the same problems, but the same kind of problems. So with that being said, if you know that you're going to have that reoccurring revenue anyway, right? Wouldn't you want to make the biggest splash possible to have everybody go berserk and want to buy the game because you're selling it for $60 or $70 instead of $80? Because you know you're going to make that extra $10 back on each person.
You're going to
like
make that
down the road. It doesn't matter.
Back. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So if I wanted to shatter the record for day one sales and shatter the record for sales of a video game ever and have it be plastered publicity all over the televisions and YouTube channels and all kinds of shit for like the first week, right? I would come out as Rockstar and say it's a $65 game or a $70 game, and
Yeah.
blow the shit up.
I would say if I was in charge of Rockstar right now, and the way the industry is going, and you see it, you see the way the people are talking, the customers are talking about video games and how they're upset about where everything's going. If they came out, I would eat the cost because they don't need to sell it for $80. They don't need to sell it for $80 because they could sell it for $60. They would get so much goodwill.
Oh, forget about it.
From selling it for $60.
They'll sell the big boy version for $80.
No, yeah. I'm just talking about the standard edition.
Yeah, standard.
$60, and within minutes, someone's going to buy a microtransaction in that game for $20, which you make up for that $80. But the goodwill that you give and say, look, we know the industry is crazy right now. We're not going to be that guy. We're giving it to you for $60. Again, right. I'm just dreaming here, okay? But if Rockstar wanted to make a splash, they're going to make their money regardless. They're going to sell it for $80. They could sell it for $100. It would still sell outrageous. But if they really want to sell it, they come out at $60, a normal price game. Look at Expedition 33, all right? Expedition 33, $50. Split Fiction, $50. Oblivion Remaster, $50. Okay? Grand Theft Auto is this gigantic game. They know that they're going to make the money. They know they're going to make money hand over fist in the microtransaction world of the online. God knows with the role playing and everything else they have predicted for this, what they have planned for this. If they come out at $60, this number goes from 10 million to 20 million pre-orders. This goes from 15 million day one to 30 million day one, just because these guys are charging $60.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying.
Like when I'm curious, when's the 25th anniversary for the game?
I think is it this year?
I don't think did it come out in 2000?
Hold on.
Did the original game come out in 2000? Is it 25 years of Grand Theft Auto? I think it's longer than that. Because I know for a fact they would destroy records.
28 years. It's 28 years. It's past 25. Yeah.
And imagine them releasing it for $60.
Dude, I'm telling you,
it would be the most. It would first of all, if it was $60, here's even better.
Nobody would talk about anything else.
Here would be better if they said, if you pre-order it, it's $60.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
if they did something like that, like if you pre-order the game, it's $60.
You pre-order the game, $60.
Yeah, you would get all your money back that day.
Oh,
the day that the pre-order
started.
Now when it comes out, the game is $70.
Right, it goes up to 80. Yeah,
no, it doesn't even go up to 80. It goes up to 70 if you don't pre-order it, right? Like that kind of shit. If you want to rock the boat a little bit, I think the website would crash. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you guys are 100% correct. GTA is a system seller, right? Right now, there's people that own a PlayStation 4 that don't want to buy a PlayStation 5, but they will buy it because of this game. If
and when they start talking about the game, and when.
Right? Same with Xbox. If you're on Xbox, you're like, I want to get an Xbox, but, it's a little pricey. Like, oh, Grand Theft Auto's coming out, right? Like, they could do so much with this game and just and you know what? All the heads of the studios would be pissed. They'd be pissed.
Yeah.
And was it Strauss Zelnick? He would just be laughing. It'd be like, ha, $60, bitches. And we made $1 billion. We made all our money back because why? We made a game and sold a game. Right? I don't know. It's not going to happen, but you know what?
Well, let's not say it's not going to happen. I'm thinking that it's plausible. That's
well, you know
plausible.
What? Well, here we are, Sarge. Let's put it in the big book of Bull. Just in case it happens, do you think that Grand Theft Auto will be less than $80?
I think it might. I think it might. Right? Because if you were trying to get control of what's happening in the industry right now, I would do it. I would do it. I would try to get people back because they're losing control right now because nobody's buying games at the price point that they want and they're losing money.
You know the last game to really say, hey, you know what? We're never going to sell out. We're never going to do this stuff was Baldur's Gate 3. You could buy a regular standard edition or you could buy the $80 edition, the deluxe edition, okay? and people loved it, and they went out and they bought it, and they said, don't buy the scalper copies because we got copies. Just come and buy it from us, right?
But this is what I'm saying, right? I think that sets. I think GTA has the ability to set the tone for gaming from that day forth, if they did it that way. If they become the super corpo brand that everyone thinks that they are, and they're going to just charge $80 because everyone's screaming, well, it's worth it. It's worth it. That's just the way it is. It's an $80 game. Like if you were to tell me that Grand Theft Auto is worth $80, then the rest of these games aren't even close to being worth $80. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it works against them if you tell me that Grand Theft Auto is an $80 game and I'm supposed to believe like the next Yote game is $80. It's the same game. Like you're not even talking to me anymore. You're like, how does this epic game is 80 understandable, and this other game that you felt like making is also $80, right? So if you're going to set that kind of precedent, then it has to make sense across the board. This is why I say, if you wanted to keep everybody in check, I would say release the game at $60. Or at least pre-order at $60.
Pone saying GTA 6 will be 60 and the online will be 10, right? Krebsy's saying I think they can charge 40 or 50 for the single player and another 40 to 50 for the online. Here's the thing: I agree what you guys are saying, but to make the biggest splash, in my opinion, would just be the whole thing, $60. $60 whole thing, right? But I do understand what you guys are saying because they could do it that way, right? But it's still 80, right? Because you're still paying. They're gonna make their money back within minutes of. I'm telling you, you're going to get so much goodwill if you just say $60, leave it at that. They get the online, and then they're like, oh, an apartment in the game is $10 for this upgraded apartment? Boom, I only paid $6 for the game. I'm paying $7. They're going to make the money back. They would eat that cost for that 100%.
I mean, how about just go run it through your head. If you're a gaming company and you canceled every other game that was supposed to come out and you've only been running on GTA Online for the last 10 years, right? You know the amount of money that you're bringing in, right? That you're making so much money that you don't even need to make another game.
Right.
Right. If I want to set the tone for trying to get people to come back into gaming, and I release GTA for $60, and the rest of these cocksuckers are trying to sell their piece of shit, half-baked, broken, buggy game at launch for $80, right? That's why I say GTA could single-handedly destroy the industry, one way or the other.
Well, that's after the fact, though, guys. When I bought Red Dead Redemption 2, I didn't pay extra. I paid $60 for Red Dead Redemption 2, played the single-player game, and I had online. I didn't pay extra for online. Not until later did they say, hey, you can just buy the online for $10 or whatever it was, right? And they started selling it separately, right? So I think they could get it for $60, and obviously the people down the road, I mean, we're talking years later that they sell it for just separate, where you could just play the online for Red Dead Redemption 2.
And
I'm not saying you guys are wrong.
And don't forget, GTA very rarely, if ever, went on sale.
Yeah, it's been on sale a couple times, but it goes down to like $40, or it goes on Game Pass for a little bit.
Yeah, but that was when there was still hard copies. This is all digital world now.
No, it goes on sale every once in a while. Yeah, it goes on sale, but still, it goes down to like, if it's 70 or whatever it is, 60, it goes down to like 40, 45 or whatever it is.
I mean,
look, if it's one thing that this game's not worried about, not going to make their money back. They're 100% going to make their money back.
Well, but if I follow through with the logic, right, and it's an $80 game, my argument works one way. My argument works both ways. If GTA comes out as an $80 game, and you say to yourself, "Well, this type of game is worth $80,"
correct? What are all the other games worth? Right.
Then there's no way that these other games coming out are $80.
Right.
Right. That's the precedent you set. Like, if you think GTA is worth 80, then why do you think that game's worth 80? Right. That game's only 3 hours long or 5 hours long, but the graphics are good and you hired extra people. So we have to pay $80 for that game now too.
Right.
But I wouldn't buy that game. I would say it's worth it.
I would think about that, what that does though. Right. Look at what Expedition 33 is, right? $50 for that game. You're like, holy shit, that's a really good price for that game. Oblivion remastered, $50. That's amazing for that price, right?
Yes.
Again, Split Fiction, smaller game, but you're like, it's a pretty good game. You get $50 and you get 2 copies because you can play whoever you want. So you're getting 2 copies for the price of one because you're playing the game, right?
But this is why I say,
if Grand Theft Auto comes out at $60, the whole industry goes, oh, these fucking guys just ruined it for all of us.
No, they didn't ruin it. They say The way
when I say us, I mean corporations, not not
the
customers.
The way I look at it is if GTA comes out at $60, right? They save gaming. Right? If they come out at $80, then everybody looks at their game and then looks at every other game that they want to pay $80 for, and they don't pay $80 for those games anymore. They wait. They wait for those games to go on sale, or they don't buy them because they know that game's not worth $80.
Right.
GTA's worth $80.
Yes.
But that's not worth $80.
Right. Madden's not worth $80, right?
That's correct. So if
Madden's a $30 game at
if
max.
If they decide to sell that game for $60, they save gaming in my eyes. If they sell it for $80, then it makes everybody else.
I agree with you. From a consumer standpoint, if they came out with that, that would save gaming. From a business standpoint, they're looking at this going, these sons of bitches. Because remember, they were all banking that Grand Theft Auto was going to be the first $80 game, but then Nintendo came out and said, "Oh no, Mario Kart's the $80 game," right? So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Grand Theft Auto. Chat, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Grand Theft Auto could go lower than $80? I think it's plausible. But we'll see. All right, let's go to the next story, Sarge, which is Activision adds a new requirement to play Call of Duty. Okay, so on July 16th, Activision introduced an age verification requirement that requires Call of Duty players to add their birthday to the account to continue playing games like Black Ops 6 or Warzone. Underage users do not submit a valid birth date or gain parental consent. Many risk their Call of Duty accounts being deleted with 4 months. So I didn't know this, right? There's a lot of people. So when I was up at my family reunion, okay, on my wife's side, I started talking to the young kids, the cousins and stuff. And they started talking. They're like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I play games and stuff." And I started talking to me, like 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I play this game. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Call of Duty." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I was like, "So your parents let you play?" They're like, "Yeah, they know, but they don't really pay attention. So we play Call of Duty or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, but now they won't be able to play, right?" And they love Call of Duty, but they're not going to be able to play this. Now, I didn't know about this until just now when I read this because I didn't see this. So it's very interesting. It says, while Call of Duty come under fire for controversial Beavis and Butthead crossover, another recent change that also caught the attention of players, reported that the Charlie Intel on social media Activision now requires Call of Duty players to submit their birth date as part of a new age verification system. Obviously, they can just do the math. Kids are pretty smart. They're like,
kids aren't stupid. They just they know where to put the year in.
Yeah, they could put it in. But that's interesting though to see because obviously, at least my son on his Xbox, he's not verified for an adult, right? It says his age and so he can't talk to certain people. He can get invites from certain people. So I know I'm the oddball out because I know what all this stuff is, so I keep track of it. Where my brother-in-law doesn't keep track of it. He calls me up and is like, "Hey, Mike, what do I do with this? Can you help me out, set this up?" Right? Because I understand all that stuff for the younger kids. But I don't think this is a bad thing because, again, if the kids are going to find a way to play, regardless if you put a verification of their birth date or not. Now, if they go above and beyond that, once they put the link in, if it's not verified, they can maybe be in trouble for that. But they're not going to do that.
Did you need to book in the Book of Bull thing, or it's okay just the one?
No. I just need when I see it, I know what it is. Okay. Yeah. They'll just change the actual date of the stuff, right? And so that's one Call of Duty story, and this other one is Call of Duty 2027 will start an all new modern sub franchise. It's claimed. Okay, new details about Call of Duty. Sledgehammer Games have surfaced online suggesting there will be a set of completely new sub-franchise. The new exclusive details come from a reliable Call of Duty leaker, Ghost of Hope. The latest post on X, stop saying formerly of Twitter, just say X, reveals the Call of Duty 2027, which is being developed by Sledgehammer Games and will not be Advanced Warfare 2. Instead, developers will target an entirely new sub-franchise. This is what I said that fucking bad Battlefield should do, right? Stop calling it Battlefield, do a subgenre for it and be done with it instead of saying, "Oh, this is Battlefield 6," right? So exclusively set that during a modern era, no jetpacks, but movement is planned to be a big focus. Zombies is currently not planned for the game. Obviously, you don't want to make a subversion of the game and then put everything that's in the game into this new subversion of the game, right? It says, Call of Duty installment in 2027 will be set in a modern era and players will not have jetpacks. but movements is planned to be a big focus.
So how would
Moreover,
how would movement be focused if there's no jetpacks? What else would you possibly do? You already know what the answer is.
roller skates. I don't know. Moreover, it seems that Sledgehammer Games' next Call of Duty installment will be skipping zombies mode, and developers will be bringing back Get High, latest where you might be as focus of martial arts within the gameplay, and players might also be able to use karate kicks and karate chops. As always, players should also take this information with a grain of salt. It doesn't come from the official source. So in other news, the same leaker also responsible for bringing us the news about the Call of Duty Black Ops 7, according to one of their recent posts. The next installment is scheduled to arrive on November 14th, 2025. So what do you think about this subgenre, Sarge? So there's a Call of Duty, and then there's going to be a subcategory of a different Call of Duty, or whatever they're going to call it.
Well, if you're them and you're thinking about this, what you're really doing is creating two pools that also have stores inside them. So if you think that your sales are dropping for one of the games, and you don't seem to be receiving the money from that group of people that used to play that game, if you create a sub franchise, as they claim this term now, if you do a sub franchise, and what you're doing is you're trying to pull back the people that left because you made the game a clown show, and so now you made the game that it used to be, and then you advertise it to the people that used to play it, and then you get those people back in the pool, and you get to harvest them in the store inside the game, right? Because according to them, this is their words, not mine, the sales of Call of Duty have been dropping steadily over the last 5 or 6 years because people don't like the clown show. The kids like the clown show. They like the little Fortnite bullshit, but this is the reason why you do a sub franchise.
That's interesting because Splitgate 2, the guy said that he wants to bring Call of Duty back, but Call of Duty can bring Call of Duty back by just making a subgenre and bring it back to its basics of what Call of Duty used to be, where now Call of Duty is what it is today, right?
But
it's not even Call of Duty.
Right, but that's what Portal was supposed to be for Battlefield. And they just instead of following through and fixing it and doing what they said, they just decided to quit. But that's what this is. A sub franchise, you could use that term, whatever term you want to make. But Portal in Battlefield is the same as a sub franchise of a Call of Duty. It's the same shit. You're just separating the people that want to play a specific way of that game.
Right.
That's what it is.
Well, we have another story for Battlefield itself. Battlefield 6 reveals that the class and weapon system changes. I don't know what this is. So EA has revealed several upcoming changes to Battlefield 6 class weapon system. Much about the upcoming game, including the release date and official name, remains a mystery. But the team behind the offered regular updates on its development and how it's also trying to craft the best player experience possible. The latest in the announcement details a few improvement adjustments for every evolving class in Battlefield series. The next entry for EA's long-running shooter series is looking for like its biggest yet. The title has 4 studios, DICE, Centurion, EA, Movement, and Ripple Effect working on it. It's also called. It also helped fans throughout the closed beta program. Battlefield Labs' official Battlefield 6 reveal is coming later this summer, and the developers have already unveiled some of the significant changes and formulas coming down the pipeline. So in a recent Battlefield Labs community update, EA detailed how the new game will also balance customizable and unchangeable class-defining elements to keep it easy to jump into while offering enough flexibility to cater to the varying play styles. As previously revealed, the Battlefield 6 will not restrict weapons to certain classes, but each role has a signature weapon.
Mistake.
While any character can also use a weapons, using class signature offers unique perks like faster sprint or shoot transition or better hip-fire control. However, each class will also get a unique gadget that isn't changeable. Another class-defining element is also each one's signature trait, which is also bonuses like explosive damage resistance and engineers and the faster receive times for support players. I hate it. I hate everything I'm hearing right now. Battlefield is dead to me. It's sad.
I mean, I'm sure that people will play it, but
people will play it.
Let's be honest. All the talk, all the promises, everything they said they were going to do to fix 2042, they didn't give a shit about. Right? The way that they follow through with the procedure of how to make a game, the only way that they change is they have to fail multiple times. And in my eyes,
this is strike 3.
In my eyes, you have to let this one die.
Yeah, this is
you have to let this one die as well in order for them to change their fucking ways. Right? They're trying to sacrifice the roots of the game for more playability in their mind. Having the ability to be a class and use any weapon you want is not a class. The point of the class, right, especially for the longevity of the game, because let's review real quick. The purpose of the game was that each class had a list of weapons to unlock.
Right.
And the only way you unlock them is by being that class and unlocking the better weapons. And the way it was structured was your beginning weapon was decent as long as you got the good attachments to it, right? But the better weapons were later on down the line, and they got better when you put the attachments on them. If I'm allowed to unlock a weapon on any character and I can use that weapon, once I find the weapon that I need, then there's no reason for me to switch classes or to switch things in order for me to open up the weapons, right? The reason why people played Battlefield so long is because you had to play each class long enough to open up all the weapons for each class. That's what kept people coming back into the game, why lobbies were full for so long, right? To give the powers of everyone can have any gun they want, some guns are locked into their classes, but other ones are not. It's just saying that you think that I won't play the game unless I can get the M16 with the banana clip, and like I need that and I'll stop playing, or I'll stop playing type of thing. Like, it defeats the purpose of the class system.
Yeah, they don't understand Battlefield. They don't,
because they got to.
want Battlefield to be Call of Duty,
bro.
Yeah,
they got to sell skins.
Yeah, they want Battlefield to be Call of Duty, and Call of Duty wants to be Fortnite, which means Battlefield wants to be Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, this sounds even worse than I thought it was going to be.
I'll wait for the game to come out. There are plenty of people going to review it. Plenty of people will review this game. 4 studios, bro.
Because we're on Ultimate, because I'm on Game Pass Ultimate, EA usually has a 10-hour free trial, whatever.
Something.
I will play it on stream and try it, but I guarantee you I am not buying and playing this game.
The purpose
show
is
it to
it's
chat
not
and
it's
play
and
it,
it's not
but
just it's not just the guns. Like,
I still have 8.5 hours left on my trial from Battlefield 2042.
the purpose of the game's mechanics was to make it not so fast that you didn't know, you don't understand the motions of your character, but you're supposed to give the player enough options with movement in the game that they can try out different things in order to evade a bad situation. Like, if you were to turn a corner and see somebody, that you can do, like, I'm not saying the crazy dive roll, but you could do like a small roll or a quick step or something that corrects the bad choice. Not something that's a god move, but something that just gives you an option, right? And the gunplay has to be done well. Like, the guns can't all handle the same. The reason for the guns being different is because you're supposed to learn the spread pattern, the pull pattern. You're supposed to learn all that while you play the game. And then when you buy the attachments for those guns and put them on, they change the behavior of the gun. And that is your play style. Not the fact that I get to be any gun I want. The play style for a person is, this class does these things. What weapons go well with this class? And what moves do I have with those weapons in order for me to be the player I want to be with that character? That's the way it's supposed to be. They're trying to make it into this thing where your special ability or the weapons can be customizable for whatever reason, but it doesn't give meaning to the character. They
want the cake and eat it too. They want to do what they did with Battlefield 2042, where they put the classes, but then they changed the class. So they're taking the same class. Okay, the classes that originally started, they weren't there. Then they put the classes into Battlefield 2042. Now they're moving that class thing over to this one, where you can do the exact same thing. But that was one of the reasons that it didn't succeed, because of the way they changed the classes. It got so far away from what Battlefield is that people didn't like it. A small group of people liked it, but now you're talking about the minority of the minority of section.
Well, like I said, our solution solves all problems. You don't have to worry about countries hating you because they think America's trying to kill them, right? You make a G.I. Joe Battlefield game. You can sell all the skins you want because there's a lot of characters in the game. A lot. There's a lot of G.I. Joe characters. I didn't know if you know that, bro. There's a lot of characters.
I didn't know that.
If you type into Google or Grok how many G.I. Joe characters there are, you're going to get a big number. You're
Yeah.
going to get a big number. So that being said, if it's G.I. Joe Battlefield, you don't have to worry about insulting any countries, right? Tons of vehicles that you can unlock, right? Weapons that you can unlock, character skins that you can sell, multiplayer that's going to be amazing, right? And all the vehicles will be real vehicles because all the G.I. Joe vehicles were based on real vehicles in real life. So it solves all the problems. So after this game fails and they want to know how to save Battlefield, that's what they'll do. Because if you want to send skill, you want to sell skins and everything else, and you can. And by the way, if you look at the G.I. Joe characters, if you look at the G.I. Joe characters, you know which G.I. Joe characters, which class, right? Like
Do you see how many? Do you see how
Like,
many
you know who's
names
who.
are there?
Yeah.
Look at that. Right. However, a large number of characters have been created across various G.I. Joe continuously continuities. A story database lists over 600 unique names, and the 1980 cartoon added many more.
I mean,
right?
I don't know. I don't know how else you can fix a Battlefield without doing this. You can have your own voice. Your guy can have the voice of the character. Your own skin. The class can be done right. You can pick your own weapons. The vehicles will be amazing because every so often you could change the battlefield, change the vehicles, right? I mean, who doesn't want to see a Battlefield where you recognize everything?
Right.
You recognize everything.
They wouldn't recognize anything because most people don't even know who the fuck G.I. Joe is.
But they know it. They know what it is, though. I mean, all the modern stuff looks good, but everyone you have to if you play enough of the modern games, like I've played enough of the modern games, it's very hard to tell if you've been playing for a while. It's hard to tell who's who because all the uniforms kind of mold together. Like they all look kind of the same. So without the red name tag, right? Without the red bar coming up and showing you that it's an enemy, sometimes it's hard to tell who's who because everybody looks the same. They're all dressed
now
in
you
the
just
modern
Cobra,
garb,
you know. Yeah.
right? If at a distance I'm Cobra, I'm a Cobra guy. You know who the guys are. I could tell like who the guy is from far away. I don't have to keep waiting for the bar to appear or the little dot to appear for me to identify if it's friend or foe. Right. And just because it's a laser gun, by the way, it wasn't a laser gun. They just made it a laser gun because it looked cool. It's still bullets. But you can make all the guns in G.I. Joe were real guns in the military.
Yep.
It's all the same. I'm just trying to help them out because I know they want to sell skins and I know they want to sell things for vehicles and stuff that they want to sell. But if you want to sell something, it's got to be unique. What's more unique than 600 different kind of G.I. Joe guys?
Right. No, I mean, I'm sold. I'm ready to throw money at it. Next story, Sarge. I'm a little confused by this, right? The game that everyone hates but loves to talk about is Starfield. Starfield's missing expansion and Bethesda's silence is stirring unease.
But what missing expansion? Is there a milk carton somewhere with a picture of Starfield on it?
Let me read this. Right, when Starfield was released in 2023, it came with a promise, Sarge, of a lengthy content pipeline that would yield at least one major expansion every year.
It did not.
Nearly 2 years later, and following the lukewarm reception of Shattered Space, fans are still wanting Bethesda to deliver the game's second expansion, and by day more are giving up hope. Here's my thing. I understand that people want the second expansion, okay? My question to these people is, do they not listen to Todd Howard when he speaks? Because Todd Howard himself has said that I would like a smallest window possible. He even said in an interview 2 weeks, where if they have something, they would say something, and then 2 weeks later it would be launched, okay? Now, they've done this in the past with a couple of other things, okay? We are in July right now. We still have August, we have September, we have October, we have November. Now, the last expansion was in September last year. People are worried because they haven't heard anything. They think that it's not happening and whatnot. But again, the two sides doesn't sound correctly because so many people hated this game. So many people hated this game. They're like, it didn't sell well. But for some strange reason, all of these people that hated the game want the second expansion to come out. So which one is it? Is it the majority of the people that didn't like the game, that didn't care about this game, and they're worried about where the second expansion is? Or the very few amount of people that actually played the game or bought the game, which is somewhere around 6 to 10 million people, did buy this game, okay? So I don't understand why people are so infatuated with the game, because when Bethesda first started their games, you didn't know about expansions. You just played the game, right? You just played the game. Then when you were done playing that game, you're like, oh my God, this game was so good. And they're like, hey, guess what? We have an expansion. And you're like, oh shit. More stuff in the game. Morrowind, Oblivion, all that stuff, right? Fallout, same thing. Starfield comes out and they're like, well, we're not getting these expansions. First, they did say they're going to have multiple expansions. Now, the big one is lengthy content pipeline.
They never said that.
Because in the Starfield store, there is expansions that you could purchase, which people are giving shit about because they're like $7, $10, whatever it is. Okay. But they want that Far Harbor, like Fallout. You know what I mean? They want that type of DLC. And then when they did it for Shattered Space, they're like, it was okay. But now they're like, what's the next one? Give us the next one. We want that, because the last one was just whatever, right? There's better ones right now in the store that people are making from that are not Bethesda. Okay, not certified Bethesda. They're just people that are making it themselves or whatever, and then charging $10 for it. That is substantial DLC that you can go play right now, right? But yet these people are just worried about something for a game that's, again, that everyone said that nobody's played. So make it make sense for me, Sarge. Why are people upset that there's not a second expansion out yet? And there's still 4 months left in this year to announce the second expansion.
There was no promise of lengthy content pipeline. That was
just
DLC.
DLC.
That was never promised. They mentioned 2. They mentioned it. And we know that everybody else mentions something, and then sometimes it doesn't happen. So them mentioning it doesn't guarantee anything, right? There's nothing in the game that pulls people in there to want for you to spend money in the game on a level that makes them want to keep supporting the game. You bought the game. The people who bought the game. They played it. They're done with it, right? The end game's not really an end game. The expansion wasn't really an expansion, and everybody else is pretty much just done with it. Did you buy it? Those of you who did, you bought it. You played it, and it's over. We're moving on. They were trying to turn. Listen, they were trying to turn. Look at it from their point. They're trying to turn Starfield into the next IP like Fallout and Elder Scrolls, right? But it didn't work out that way because the sci-fi version of Fallout and Elder Scrolls isn't something people want to play because we have Elder Scrolls and Fallout. They wanted something else in the pipeline that they could go to, because if I was a developer, I would go crazy if I was just doing post-apocalyptic world and fantasy world all the time, right? So what did they do? They created Elder Scrolls Online, reoccurring revenue stream that puts you into the Elder Scrolls universe, and then they created Fallout 76, which is a reoccurring revenue stream for post-apocalyptic Fallout that they can just mess around with. And since they made those 2 games, we don't have to really worry about making a fantasy or a post-apocalyptic one because we have those 2 things that we are making reoccurring revenue on, right? They're trying to do that with the sci-fi version, and it didn't work, right? Nobody cares about Starfield. Did they play it? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
They're done with it. They're done with it. Whether or not you think you're entitled to a DLC is irrelevant, because everybody promises everything, and then when they decide to not do it, they just don't do it. Right? It's not a promise. It's an enticement for you to be excited about the game past the point of you being excited for it. That's it.
This is what they said here. It said Bethesda promised a long-term content pipeline for Starfield.
It did not.
For at least this is what they did say. Bethesda promised a long-term content, but not a lengthy, just long-term content pipeline for Starfield, aiming at least 1 major expansion per year, which they still haven't gone against that yet. One, they've been putting out content in the store. Okay, the entire time. Actual content, not just like a skin here and there, like actual content they put out there, okay? They have things in the pipeline, but at the same time, right, it says future content after Shattered Space, Bethesda will assist whether to continue the story expansion or explore other content types like smaller updates or addition to creation system, right, which they have been doing. I just don't understand why people are so fixated, because if I'm not correct, Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and it was 3 years for them to fix that game And then they came out with an expansion for it, and everyone was just blown away. And they're like, "This is the greatest expansion ever created to God's gift to men." Okay, which is Liberty. Was not Liberty City.
Liberty.
Phantom Liberty. Thank you. Right. So I'm confused because one company is allowed to fix their game for 3 years, and then put a DLC out, and everyone forgets about the fuck up they did for 3 years. Okay,
It was bad.
and then the other company, which was the smoothest launch. I'm not saying it was the greatest launch ever, but it was the smoothest launch for any of their games because this game was less buggy than any other game they've ever released.
Well, it just took more time to find the bugs.
Okay. And yet 2 years it's been out. They've been updating it and fixing it. It wasn't broke, buggy to a point where you couldn't play it. Main story was pretty shitty, if you ask me. I liked all the side stories better. Okay. Content's been there. If you want to pay for it, you can pay for it. But I don't understand why people are so upset, again, because no one played this game, but yet they want the second expansion. Who? The 10 people that people say they play the game? I mean, I played 200 hours of it. Would I like another expansion? Sure. Right? I paid for the first expansion. We got it. I played it. It was okay. It wasn't great. But why are people so upset? If the next expansion never comes out, am I going to be upset? I'll be like, no, I played the game. I put the game down. I'm done with the game.
It's only because it didn't capture enough people to warrant modders and other people to want to keep the game updated. Right? Their attempt at sci-fi was decent, but it wasn't incredible compared to the incredibleness of an Elder Scrolls game that we grew up with and the incredibleness of a Fallout game, which has been modified throughout the years to be better, right? We all know about the engine. That conversation is dead to me. We all know why they picked that engine, okay? It's just the game is just what it is. They attempted to try to put a third game in the rotation so they didn't have to worry about making the other two games again. That's the whole premise of Starfield, right? I understand that you brought up the point that Todd has been wanting to make that game forever. He wanted a sci-fi game inside the book. He wanted part of the studio to make a sci-fi game. It probably didn't go over as well as they would hoped it would. It did, but this is what it is, right? Now, would you rather try to beat the dead horse? People played the game and that's it, but there's not a following. Or do you go back to your other games and you make those the best that you can because you can't chase what you. It's not there.
I think people are upset at Starfield because their expectations weren't met and they know the potential of what it is, right? They wanted the Fallout, or I'm sorry, the Skyrim in Space Edition, not the Fallout Space Edition, right? They wanted what Destiny was. Remember when Destiny first came out and our expectations for Destiny, we saw the potential of what Destiny was, right? And it just never fit what Destiny, from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, right? People were always chasing it, waiting for that next thing to make it the next best thing, but it just never hit, right? People want Starfield to be a great game, but it hasn't hit that point yet. Their expectations were so high, and they're just they see the potential, but the potential, it's not hitting the potential what they wanted to make, right? The customer's potential.
Yeah, but it's not that type of game, right? The minute I played Starfield, the first game I compared it to was Mass Effect. The minute I played it, I'm going through and I'm going as I'm playing the game, I'm just going through the stuff of Mass Effect. It's a good game, right? I think as far as space exploration goes, they did a fantastic job putting you inside the space, no pun intended, of you actually being there. Like what it's like to be in space. What's it like to fly a ship in space? They did a great job for a collaboration between realism and gameplay for an outer space game. I thought they did a good job. Yeah. But it was not better than the other sci-fi games that we have played
before, right?
Right? And I'm not talking about just Mass Effect, the other sci-fi games that are out.
I think a lot of people, okay, so the expectations for like No Man's Sky are not as high than what they are for Bethesda Starfield. You know what I mean? When No Man's Sky came out, what's that?
It is what it is.
No, what I'm saying is No Man's Sky is a great sci-fi game. People love it now, 8 years later. Okay? But when it first came out, people weren't like expecting. They were upset for what it was. It was lied to for them. But they went over and fixed it. Now they're above and beyond what you ever could imagine what No Man's Sky was going to be. They've put into the game with 22, fixes or DLCs or whatever they've put in for free, right? But yet Starfield is held to a different standard because it's Bethesda, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you've been around for a long time and you make great
Sure.
games. We look to see what you're going to do next. That's better. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, but it's not the same people making the games that were in the past or making the ones in the future.
Your reputation is your reputation. I don't know what to tell you. Regardless of who's working at the place or not, your reputation is your reputation. Maybe it's up to you to hire the right people in your company to continue on to pass the torch along, right? Like, how do you set up a universe where you tell me mankind was going to be erased from the universe, and only because of a specific set of events that we were able to fast travel away from Earth in time with a small group of people to a different galaxy in order to survive? You made it so like we're barely hanging on. The whole premise of the game was we're barely hanging on, and you were thrown into this calamity of different systems barely hanging on, trying to perpetuate humanity. And yet at the end of the game, you don't give me any ability or any type of thing where I'm in charge. I want to build a town on this town. I pick out the planet that's really good. I want to build a city here, and then I get to build a city here, and then set up other stations and go out further. If you want me to expand the mankind thing, then and you give me this many planets, but you don't give me the ability to do anything with the planets except make a gas station. Like, I don't. You let the what the fuck is the word?
I don't know.
You let the potential of the game die. You let the potential of the game die because you didn't give me the ability to follow through with the storyline that you gave to us originally. Right? The whole premise of the game is there, and I don't get to follow through with it.
I wish they connected it to Fallout. I do. I wish they connected it to Fallout, where if you went back, right? And I'm not talking like super thread through line, like, oh, you're like, if you went back to Earth, all of a sudden you found, right, one of the cities that was in Fallout, and you went, oh shit, we left that planet. So this is Fallout, but now in the galaxy type of thing. I think that would be cool, but I understand why they didn't go that route. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I still think they're going to announce the DLC. I think it'll come out. Again, Todd Howard has said,
but it won't
I would love to do it within 2 weeks of announcing it and then coming out.
But it won't matter. It won't matter.
No, it won't matter because people are still going to give it high, still put it under a microscope and whatever it comes out.
It won't matter because the release of a DLC for a game that people are done playing with is not enough to want me to come back into that universe, because there's nothing for me to do in that universe except only for that piece of content that you put in. There's nothing else for me to do. Right. Whereas there are other games out, thousands of games out, that I can use my time wisely and go play a different game instead of coming back to a game that's, we all know it's done, not dead. It's done. So there's no reason for me to go back to it. Where's the hype train for wanting to go back to the Starfield universe? Right? Going back into Cyberpunk's universe, 100% understand.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the scale was too big for Starfield. Someone said it earlier, like 970 planets, you don't do fucking nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they could have just did one solar system, and they could have put as much shit as possible in that one solar system, and traveling from one planet to the next in that solar system would have been fantastic.
But you don't have to make it as boring as reality.
No, of course not.
Right? You made it to where I'm supposed to explore planets, but for no reason. Right. For the willingness to want to explore, like mankind's willingness to want to explore the universe, just like we explored the oceans. It's a thing that's in us as humanity. I understand that whole premise that they're trying to get across, but it doesn't come across when you don't give me the tools to follow through with what you want me to do with this big empty sandbox with literally nothing in it.
Right. I think what Pone's saying here, he says releasing on PlayStation will give it a bit of life. Look, I think they release it on PlayStation with this next expansion. That's how they get the more life into it. So whatever next expansion's coming out, the PlayStation guys can get the game and the 2 expansions for a certain price on PlayStation, and that's the way they're going to market that. I think that's what it's going to do.
I mean,
and
otherwise there's no reason.
Right. All right. The last story I want to talk about, Sarge, because we're running out of time, is Superman, right? Have you seen Superman?
I've done a coin toss the last week. I still lose, so I'm not going to see it yet.
All right.
I got a couple friends that want to go see it. I might see it this week.
I haven't seen it just because I was on vacation. I came back. My wife didn't feel good. We couldn't go. We were going to go see it for our anniversary. We might see it this weekend. I don't know yet. Right. This is me. I already talked about it earlier on my morning show. This is me not shitting on it if it's a good movie or bad movie. That's not what we're talking about here. What I would like to talk about with Sarge is about the international box office and what the movie's doing, right? Right now, the white blood cells, like I like to call them, are the people that love Superman, right? They love Superman. It doesn't matter if it's James Gunn's Superman or if it's Zack Snyder's Superman or whatever. They just love Superman, right? So they're coming to the defense of it. So no matter what we say here, people will be like, you're wrong. It's making good money. All I'm looking at is the numbers, right? I want to bring up the numbers to you, but I want to bring up this article real fast, right? So the article says that Superman's lower than expected international box office haul could be a big problem in the long run, okay? And that's what I really want to focus on, right? Because people are going to look at this number here, Sarge, and say, well, 166 domestically is really good. But the international number is extremely low at this point, extremely low, where it hasn't moved. Now, worldwide is 261, okay? As a fan of Superman, if you just want to go see it 2-3 times, like, this is phenomenal. Like, you go watch the movie, you like the movie, great. Enjoy the movie, okay? But this is bad for the movie longevity, not just this film, but this is the first film in a broader DC universe that James Gunn is building, okay? This is Superman. This is not Aquaman, and I'm talking about like old school Aquaman, not Jason Momoa's Aquaman, okay, because that made $1 billion, right? This is not some random character. This is one of the most popular characters in the DC universe, and right now it's not pulling in those types of numbers, okay? So this $56 million number is not the accurate number because this is 22 million of the 56 is from the first pre-show days that they had earlier in the week, okay? But they just combined it into here, where if you look at Man of Steel back in the day, they show you, hey, there's Thursday. Thursday was the pre, and times were like at 10 o'clock at night, right? 10 o'clock at night, so it made 12 million in 2 hours of that time frame that it was open for that. And then Friday it opened up at 44, and Superman here had 56, but if you notice 37, 31, let's go back to Man of Steel, 44, 36, okay? Right? Oh, I'm sorry, 44, 36, 36. So here's 37, 31. So you can see they're very similar in the amount of money Superman fans like Superman, so they go see it domestically, okay? People are like, it's doing so well at the box office, and what they don't tell you is that they actually had $190 million at one point as the expectation of what it was supposed to hit. Then they lowered it to 160, then they lowered it to 140, then they lowered it to 120, then they lowered it to 90, then they went back up to 120, and they hit 122, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's doing so well, but it actually underperformed by $70 million because it was supposed to get 190 million at some point, okay? So now it's going into more theaters. It's an extra 125 theaters they're putting it into, so now it's up to 4,275 theaters coming up this weekend, okay? This week, Monday it made 12 million, Tuesday it made 17 million, Wednesday it made 11 million, which is pretty good. If you go back to Man of Steel and you look at the numbers on Monday, 12 million, Tuesday, 11 million, Wednesday, 9 million, right? So it's very consistent. What they also don't tell you, and the media likes to spin stuff, is they compared it to Man of Steel. So this is why I'm bringing up Man of Steel, okay? I'm not bringing it up to show you this because I want to just bring it up. The media says this is the #1 selling Superman solo film ever because they have to put the solo film in there because obviously Batman versus Superman made more money, okay? So they can't say that. But this movie doesn't have just Superman. This is like a whole bunch of people in this film. It's not just a Superman film, right? So they also don't tell you that if you take this Man of Steel 12 million number here, and let's combine it with this number right here, which is the 44 million, just like they did for the new Superman, that would give you $57 million on the first day. Hey, look at that. 56 million on the first day. Well, Man of Steel with no inflation, zero inflation, okay, made more money than this new Superman film 13 years ago or 12 years ago, okay, back in 2013, okay? Now with inflation, obviously, it made way more money than this new Superman film, and the average cost of a ticket price in 2013 was $8.09, I believe. Okay, the average price right now in 2025 is $16. That's including the IMAX theaters, the premium theaters, all the hoopla and stuff. It's $16 on average. Okay. Also, that means that if you look at Superman's numbers and they have, an average of 13,000 and you charge the $16 per the 13,000, there's a lot less bodies in the theater than there were in the past. Okay. More money, double. Okay, double the money. So for every ticket sale you sell for this Superman, that's 2 people that went to go see the actual movie of Man of Steel back in the day, right? So the article talking about how Superman opened with an estimated $122 million in North America weekend, adding in $95 million from overseas and $217 million, which got inflated up to $225 after this article came out. It's a strong start for DC Studio reboot, but one of the raised concerns about just how high the Man of Steel will fly in weeks ahead. Jurassic Park Rebirth took an expected bite out of the movie, while Fantastic Four, which is coming out not this weekend, so they have another week to fill in that money in for Superman, because Fantastic Four comes out next midweek or whatever it is. All right. So fortunately, neither Smurfs nor I Know What You Did Last Summer is expected to pose much of a threat to Superman during the second weekend in theaters. The Wrap has also, however, shared some valid concerns about the blockbuster performance overseas. Now, Superman fell short initial expectations at $95 million international, meaning only 44% of the global comes from those markets, and left North America and Canada to do the heavy lifting, especially after only grossing $13.3 million combined from China, Japan, and South Korea, which are supposed to be some of the huge markets over there. So if you look at, let me go back to Man of Steel real fast, okay? If you look at the Man of Steel, 56% more, right? 56% compared to the 43%. Now, if you go to Superman and look at this, it's 63% to 36%. They need this number to extremely go up to be anywhere to be successful for them. It says, while there has also been an argument that the decline of the U.S. image under Donald Trump is the impact for Hero that his decades has associated with truth, justice, and the American way, even though with Gunn downplaying that last part in the film, box office history suggests that it's not that simple. Okay, elaborating on that, the piece of points that 51% of the Superman Returns, $391 million global gross came from domestic receipts, and Man of Steel fared a little better with 56%, and it's $670 million haul coming in internationally. But it's also the average of Christopher Nolan's name being attached to a year after The Dark Knight Rises released in theaters. As a result, Superman is shaping up to be the domestic-driven title, but the odds against them for being huge. Through that, recently learned that Warner Bros. Discovery exclusively will be happening with eventually a $500 million haul. So I'll say one more thing, Sarge, and then we'll let you talk here a bit, right? So the $500 million, if it does hit $500 million worldwide, this is a flop for Warner Brothers, because it cost them $363 million publicly by Warner Brothers, but they had a tax incentive, which after the fact it was like $260 million, but then you put the marketing on top of that, which was about another $250 million. So they have $500 million budget for this film. So it has to hit $700 million, okay, to make a profit. Now, James Gunn's come out and said that people think that's going to make or break us. Not all movies need to make profit, but this movie in particular, I think, has to make a statement of this is the first new movie in the DC universe. The next character after this is Supergirl, okay? And the character after that is Clayface, okay? If this movie, in my opinion, doesn't hit $700 million and make a profit, Supergirl's definitely not making their money, and Clayface is definitely not going to make that. So what do you think of this? Now, again, this is not saying if the movie's good or bad. This is just talking about international and the numbers. Is this bad news or good news for Superman, the DC Universe, James Gunn, going forward?
I don't think the optics are good for the character. The issue is that we're fighting our own culture. What Superman is supposed to be to everybody is supposed to draw in everybody. The writing of Superman in this movie, according to what I've read, okay, doesn't put it in a good light. It's made for conflict of our own culture. I don't understand why you think that fighting your own culture is going to make a successful movie. I don't think for a moment that this would be considered the start of the next cinematic universe for DC, right? I think it's another attempt that somebody needs to sell tickets And so superhero movies are the only thing that's selling in large quantities because everything else doesn't really work. How many rom-coms can you make? How many things can you make? Horror movies are going to make the horror movie money. We already know what the deal is. But the only way you make box office money that they want to make, the blockbuster stuff, is to do another superhero movie because they don't have any balls to make anything else. I don't believe that we're looking at an actual superhero movie. I believe what we're looking at is we're being told a lesson about the current state. It's a political type of movie, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not going to age well later down the road.
Yeah, it's instead of making a movie about a guy who is supposed to represent humanity, not a particular kind of humanity. It's supposed to be truth, justice, and the American way because at the time of the Man of Steel being around, the American way was the best way, right? It was the way that everybody else wants to be. It's everybody looked up to America. Everybody wants to be here, right? He's basically saving humanity, but he does it in New York, right? He does it here, right? He doesn't do it in Bangladesh because Bangladesh has their own superhero, right? They have their own people, right? But people watch the old superhero movies, or excuse me, the old Superman movie because they all want to be part of that culture because they respect and like the culture. This movie basically makes you look at your own culture and like you're not supposed to like where you are, right? How are you supposed to feel good about the Man of Steel, Superman, right? If you put him in a setting where I'm not supposed to like the place I actually am, right? I don't understand that whole mentality. I don't understand why they do this, right?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how you can still bomb on so many movies and yet you stay open. I don't get it, right? How hard is it after 75 years of storytelling that you can't make a feel-good movie about an American hero, Superman? Explain it to me. How bad of a writer do you need to be that you can't do the research on the Man of Steel to find out all the stories that were ever told about this man? Try to put together a story that makes people feel good about being a human, about being an American, about feeling good about where you are, right? And you can't do that. Instead, you want to lecture everybody about how you feel, how we should act. That kind of shit doesn't work. People go watch movies to escape. If I'm going to go to a movie and you're going to try to preach to me about I don't care whatever, then I don't go. You want to know why every theater only has 11 people in it? Because it's much comfortable. It's much comfortable to sit home and watch whatever movie I want through the entire case of every movie in history. I can watch whenever I want, as opposed to driving to a place to pay for $25 popcorn to have some asshole on the screen lecture me about my own country. I'm fucking out.
Yeah, that's another ring, right? The movie theater is on average, the movie theaters are averaging 11% capacity, meaning out of 100 seats, 11 people per 100 seats. So there's theaters, right? And I did this right before. These are show times that happened. I wanted to show this. I don't have a screenshot of it, but I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Okay, that's at 7:15 today. If you can't see, there's I'm sorry. That's the 7:45 show, right? There's nobody in the theater by my house. Nobody. Okay. This is the 7. That was the 7:45. This is the 7:25. There at the time I took the screenshot, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 people in this theater. That's it. Okay. Then here's a large theater, and this is the biggest theater by my house, and this is at the 8:45 showing tonight. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 people, and people are going to go, well, it's a Thursday night.
I mean, do you guys not remember going to the theater and the theater was full? Like, you guys don't remember that? Like, has everybody got brain damage? Does everyone not remember how that used to work? You used to go to the theater and it used to be packed?
Well, then if you go back to even looking at other films that have come out, everyone's like, oh, well, it's doing so good. No, it's not. It's not. This movie easily should have hit like 200 million domestically by now. Okay? Easily. Okay? Internationally, it should have hit 200 million. It should be like 500 million at the end of the weekend. Okay? Like, we're talking like COVID numbers here for a blockbuster film. If I go to Jurassic Park right now, right, Jurassic Park is pulling in a much better. Let me go to Daily. Let me see what they got here. Jurassic Park Rebirth. Okay, right now it sits at 548 million after how many? 2 weekends, right? Two weekends in the theater.
Did we say? Did I say that Jurassic Park was supposed to beat Superman? I can't remember which way I went when we had the.
We all said. I believe we all said Jurassic Park was going to beat Fantastic Four and Superman
because of dinosaurs, right? Because we said
dinosaurs. Dinosaurs win, right? Right.
Dinosaurs win over superheroes.
Yeah, I don't know. In our little poll here, hold on. Let me go down to the box office predictions. Right now, Jurassic Rebirth. I said opening weekend we get 82 million. Opening worldwide 250, grand total will be 820.
You don't got anything on the screen right now. There you go.
I know. You can't see it. I'm just reading it. Worldwide for Jurassic Park's 548. I feel pretty confident it'll hit 800 million by the end of its run. Okay, my prediction for Superman, 715 million grand total. I am shaking right now because I don't think Superman is going to hit 700 million.
I don't think 5 maybe.
It'll end up around 500-600 million. If it does scrape by, it might make a little profit. But again, this movie had to make a bigger splash than it's doing. And again, not judging if the movie's good or bad. I haven't seen it myself. I know a lot of people either hate it or they loved it. And that's the way I usually look at reviews, because you'll see a lot of 2s out of 10s and you'll see a lot of 10 out of 10s. So obviously the movie's like a 6 or a 7, right, on average. So we'll see what happens as the movie progresses, but Fantastic Four comes out in a couple days. Okay, after this weekend, if this movie doesn't hit 400 million at the end of this weekend, it's in massive problems, because Fantastic Four, regardless if it's good or bad, is going to suck up everything at the box office the following
it's not
week.
going to people but the people who are going to watch Superman already watched Superman, so they'll go out and watch Fantastic Four. What I'm saying
that's what
is,
I'm saying.
you're not stealing from people that are going to go see Superman. If you were going to go see Superman, you would have gone to see Superman already. Like that's the number. The number you see is the number. You're not waiting to see Superman, and then because Fantastic Four comes out,
no, but you're
pulls
taking
your
numbers,
attention away from Fantastic,
because people have already seen it 2-3 times, and they might go a 4th or 5th time. But instead of spending money to see it the 3rd or 4th time, they're going to go watch Fantastic for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're talking about ridiculous number. Like
we're talking about the real people that go watch the movies like this.
Yeah, but the only reason why your movie would hit 700 is because people see it multiple times.
That's exactly right. That's
especially in today's world. No one's seeing anything multiple times right now. Current movies.
That's not true. The super uber fans go watch these movies 2-3 times.
But that number is irrelevant. The number of people that actually watch a movie multiple times is irrelevant. That number is not big enough. That number is not big enough.
Back in the day when movies made $1 billion, multiple people saw that movie multiple times.
Yeah, and that number of people that saw multiple times was much larger.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Much larger.
These people right, but there's also double the ticket price, right? So if I go see a movie twice, it's 4 people, right? If I see it 3 times, that's 6 people, right? That's 6 people. Me paying for the movie 3 times is 6 people on average going to see that movie.
Yeah, but the people that are going to see a movie now multiple times, that group of people is much smaller.
That's what I'm saying, though. It is smaller, but they're paying double the price. So they count for 2 people.
The money that Fantastic Four makes and the money that Superman makes is going to be pretty much those people are going to see it. If you're a superhero person, you're going to go watch a superhero movie. You're going to go watch Fantastic Four. You're not going to not watch Superman because you accidentally went to go watch Fantastic Four. Like, that group of people is insignificant. There's not somebody waiting around to see Superman, couldn't go for the 3rd week, and then go, I was going to go see Superman. I'm 3 weeks in. Oh, but Fantastic Four came out, so I'm not going to go see Superman now?
You'll be surprised.
Come on, bro.
Okay. I'm not saying it's a giant number. I'm just saying that you need those people to go see it multiple times to make that number go up.
I'm probably going to let you know that that number for the opening weekend probably be the same number for the damn Fantastic Four. Probably going to be about the same number.
It might be lower because remember, people are not burnt out with DC. They're burnt out with Marvel. Oh, I'm sorry. They're burnt out with shitty Marvel stories.
You're burnt out because on superhero you're burnt out.
No, I don't think there's superhero. I don't think
superhero movie is a superhero movie.
No, I don't think people are. I don't think there's superhero fatigue. I think there's bad superhero fucking writing fatigue, right? There's just bad writing coming from Marvel. Like the last two phases sucked balls, from Ant-Man to Black Widow to the second Black Panther to the Ironheart show to all of them. All of them suck. The writing sucks. People are just tired of shitty writing. They're not tired of superheroes. Superheroes have been around for 100 years. You didn't think they're getting tired of them now?
Start taking notes. Why bother watching a preview of the movie? Just look up who wrote the movie. Don't even bother looking at the goddamn previews, right? Look up if it's
yes, but the casuals don't give a shit.
If it's writing fatigue that you're looking for, then just look up the writer. If a movie comes out and you get excited, like, "Ooh, this looks good," let me look up who the writer is. That's all you need to do. Period. Right? If it's on the list, you're out. If you're on the list, you're out.
Me and Wolverine did a podcast years ago, okay, talking about WandaVision and Boba Fett and all these other shows, right? And every single time I was like, these writers are shitty. And you go look up their resume, and it's like their first project they've done, right? People are not tired of superhero films. They're tired of shitty superhero films.
Okay, but if you were told to make a sci-fi drama and you were a brand new writer and you wrote a shitty script, 100% understand why you would write this shitty script.
I would go read a bunch of comics and books.
If you are a new writer and you don't understand Superman or you don't understand Superman and you have an entire fucking 75 years to do research on and you still fuck it up, get the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying.
Get the fuck out, right? You no homework, turn in your work. Don't just make whatever you want based on what you typed into your phone. That's how I'm going to write the superhero. Like, I don't even want to humor them with conversation. If you don't know the character you're trying to write for, and you're trying to make a multi-million-dollar blockbuster, and you've got nothing on your fucking resume, and they put you in charge of this, and you don't do any background check work on anything, you don't fucking belong there, bro. Right? It's time to cut out the bullshit. Anybody who can't hack it needs to fucking go and get a different job. Yep. Right? If you're not a good writer, fine. If you're not a good superhero writer, maybe you're better at dramas. Maybe you're better at rom-coms. Maybe you had life experiences, something else. We know you didn't have life experiences being fucking Superman. All you have to do is go read some shit about the character.
Right. All right, chat. Put your cue in front of your question. We'll take some questions here while we wait for questions. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do this podcast Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and also Twitch. So if you like it, hit that follow button over on Twitch, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, like I said, you can also download or stream the album. We have a Perk Up Press Play. It's an album that I've wrote and then used AI music to make the songs. They're funny. They're cool. They're fun. So go download it on all major platforms. Listen to it on Spotify. Helps us out over here on the channel. We'll mark some questions here. We'll take, whatever comes in for the next, 5 minutes.
Am I supposed to have apathy for people who are shitty at their job? I'm curious. No. I'm curious how this is supposed to work.
No, the reason people have jobs is because they're supposed to be good at what they do, right?
Well, what's the point of a resume if I get hired to do a job that I'm not qualified for?
Yeah, well, in Hollywood, nepotism's a big one. So,
but prove you can write.
No, it's just who you know. It's most of the time. I went to a party with that person. They can get me a job. Yeah, sure. I know a guy. We can't find a writer, so let's just do the writing.
Yeah, but do that for an up and coming movie, not the fucking
Get learn to write and read.
I know this guy. We want to do a rom-com with some no names. I want to try to get him up in stature. Let's you do writing for that one. Sure. We want you to do Superman. What'd you do before? Well, I wrote some Jack and Jill books, and I've been married once, and I got divorced, and I hate my wife, and my daughter wants to become a man, and so now I have to write Superman. I don't think it's going to work out well. I don't think that guy's going to write a good movie. Pretty sure.
I just read that last question you put, Krebsy. This guy, man, he can't do anything right. I'm not writing that one either. I am working on more albums. Altern. I am working on a second album to go for Perk Up Press Play Volume 2. I am working on that because we have a whole bunch, like Crazy Uncle Nintendo and stuff is not on that first album. So we have other songs we can put, but bad part is a lot of those songs that I created were on a different account, so I can't use them. So I have to come up with new ones.
How many shitty movies do you need to have in a row, bro? Like I don't get it. I just it makes my head hurt to know that you can't write Superman.
Again, I haven't seen the movie. I did watch Kingard's review of it, and then he did a clip today on YouTube about the dialogue. He said that he almost walked out. Right? He said in his 13 years of watching movies like this, he said he's never walked out before. He almost walked out, but then he
out of a Superman movie?
Yeah, he said that the action let him sit back down, but he said the dialogue was unbearable because they explain everything in the movie. Like, you're an idiot, so I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing.
It's all exposition.
Yes, all exposition. Yeah. So, I'm going in with knowing that now, and it's going to stick out like a fucking sore thumb to me because movies already stick out like a sore thumb to me because I worked in the industry and I see things that other people don't. And now that he said that to me, I've pulled the veil off. So now when I sit down in the movie, I'm going to be like, oh God.
You got a storm by you or something? Because you're pixelated bad.
It's just on your side then because I'm monitoring the stream. They don't hear pixelated. So yeah. All right, chat. Let me get some questions here. Later, Pixel. Kingard says, don't you say you don't like Superman. People will fight you over it. Oh, I know. There's people telling me that my video that I put, just talking about the box office numbers, Kingard, people were giving me shit. Like, it's the box office numbers. I wasn't talking about anything else. It's just
they don't understand. Well, they don't understand math, right? They're going to be paying $800 a month for a car payment because they're too fucking stupid to understand numbers. So don't worry about them.
Very true. All right, let's go to question number 1 here. Krebsy says, do you think Man of Steel would have performed better if it was called Superman Man of Steel? You know, I want to say yes, Krebsy. I didn't like the name of Man of Steel when they did it, right?
Because guys who don't read comic books don't know who that is.
Right? So I think it was stupid on Zack Snyder's part for doing it that way. But yeah, I think something as simple as that would market it better for people because a lot of people are like, for instance, the guy Steel, like the superhero Steel, like they don't know who that is, right? So they would be like, oh, is that Superman's Man of Steel? Is that like it's very confusing for a lot of people that are not comic book readers. So if you say Superman, they're like, oh, it's Superman. Like even if you type in Superman, people still look up Superman Man of Steel. It's just called Man of Steel, right? So this one was supposed to be Superman Legacy, but they changed it just to Superman.
Can't have a legacy if you can't make more than one movie.
Well, he's 3 years into the. I think he's been Superman.
No,
for 3 years.
What I'm saying is you can't call it legacy because you know your films are going to suck. So you don't have a legacy.
You don't want to date your thing before it happens, right? Right. It's called Legacy as one film. Krebsy says in their best form, can you rank the following: French toast, waffles, pancakes, crepes? Ooh, okay.
Yeah, sure. Normally it would be waffles, pancakes, French toast, crepe. But if you're in the South, depending on the griddle that they use, then you just reverse pancake and waffle. So then it would be waffles, pancake, French toast, crepe.
Yeah, crepe would be my top.
No, crepe is at the end. Crepe's
I love crepes.
Ain't no fucking what? It's like the little fucking dough you get from going to fucking church.
Watch them make the crepe.
Oh please, your little
soft.
Fairy,
I love the soft
little fairy pastry.
The soft texture of it. Oh, it's so good. Yeah,
it's
eat like 10 of them.
It's an anorexic pancake. Who gives a shit?
Then I would go pancake. Then waffle. Then French toast.
Fuck your crepe.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's
one.
correct. That's correct, Toothless. That's correct, Toothless. It's a thin pancake.
That's right. Well, a waffle's a holy pancake. I mean, it's the same.
This is a different batter completely.
Yeah, but you can use the same batter.
But that wouldn't be a waffle. That wouldn't be a waffle.
Well, pancake, you put it in a waffle maker. We already talked about this. If you take a pancake and put it into a waffle maker, it's a pancake in a waffle maker. It doesn't turn into a waffle. It's the batter, right? It's just that you can make a waffle and not put it in a waffle maker. It's just the batter. It's a different type of batter, but still do it.
Mm-hmm.
Krebsy says, with Nintendo changing their patents For Power World lawsuit, do you think that they changed the Epstein list and this is why it's being hidden? First of all, look, that whole thing that's happening, when I was on vacation, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Thousands of hours of video of people doing things, and then there's none.
Oh, there's
like, I don't know about you, Sarge. I never thought there was going to be like a grocery list of people with a name on it, right? I just want names. Look, I don't even care if we do anything to any of these people. I just want a name. That way I can boycott everything they do, right?
Well, that's part of the reason why they're not going to release it.
Well, exactly.
I
don't need to prosecute anybody. I just want to publicly shame everybody that's done it, and they never get anything ever again.
What you don't understand is the issue with the Epstein list is that the purpose of his operation, and it was an operation, was to get leverage over people in power. That's part one. Then you have the other part of it, which is underage sex trafficking, right? And we all know what group of people does the underage sex trafficking and why you want to put them on an island. Okay, but we're not allowed to talk exactly who those people are, but we know
doesn't exist. Yeah.
Right, we don't know. So if you take such a large group of people who have money and power, and you're going to put them on a list, right? You're going to cause a lot of problems, for a lot of people, right? And so you have to play the big boy game now, right? You have to tell yourself that it's safer for people not to know than it is for people to know. The difference now is we have the internet. And so do you understand what kind of level of security they must have on that list that hasn't leaked anywhere, that no one tried to leak it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because the leverage on the people they have on that list would change governments. Yeah. Right. That's the kind of leverage they have. So we have to pretend and start to distract you and talk about stupid shit. Like, there is no list. And we have to play the stupid game. I'm more concentrated on the fact that there are a lot of victims who are trafficked.
But they don't exist.
Right. Yeah, we're supposed to ignore it. So if you're going to sit back and allow this to disappear because you don't really give a shit, then you might as well just go live someplace else because you don't care about how the country runs, right? That's the part you should care about, right? The part of how things get done, right? And if we can't trust the people who are trying to get things done, then what are we all doing here? What do we believe in?
What can we trust? Right?
What do you believe in? Okay.
All right, next one. What are you guys gonna be playing what are you guys playing at the moment? We kind of talked about this in the beginning of the show. Right now, I'm playing Marvel Rivals. I'm playing a little bit of Dune Awakening. I'm probably gonna pick up. I'm not playing it at the moment, but I'm probably gonna pick up the expansion or the standalone RoboCop game that came out today. I think it comes out today. That's what I'm playing right now. What about you, Sarge?
Oblivion. A couple times a week, and I'm playing RTS games competitively online. Dawn of War 2, Cumbia Heroes 3, and Dune Spice Wars.
Next one is, do you believe that Starfield can even to ever get the same praise as Cyberpunk 2070 got 3 years later and then fix the game?
No.
No, I don't think so. Because there was no... Cyberpunk's not held to the same standards as Bethesda, right? Maybe after Witcher 4 comes out, and then one more, and then CD Projekt Red will be up there as far as held the same standards as Bethesda, because Bethesda has all of the Skyrim games, the Fallout series, so they're held to their own standards, but they're still held at a higher standard than most other games, I believe. All right, next one. Krabby says, Randy just leaked the whole Borderlands 4 map himself, so what do you think he'll take for Gearbox to stop allowing him to speak? This man has done more... I can only speak for myself. He has done more damage to this franchise than any other person could have done, right? He doesn't know when to shut his mouth. He doesn't know when to stop. He thinks he's helping, but he's actually hurting. He is the worst spokesman for Gearbox.
Well, they can't do anything because he's the boss.
Yeah,
that's the reason. They need leverage on him in order for him to shut up. So somebody has to find another hard drive somewhere. That's the only way they can shut him up. Otherwise, he's gonna just keep talking because he can't help himself. Like, just look up little quirks and stuff in psychology, or just your old psychology book. You'll find what grouping of person he is, and that's just how he is.
Yeah,
he can't help himself.
He's trying to be like the cool guy. He is Steve Buscemi, where he's like, "Hey, fellow gamers," with the high schoolers, where he's got the skateboard on his back. That's what Randy Pitchford's trying to be. He's trying to be the cool guy or the cool uncle, but he's the weird uncle.
Yeah,
he's the
weird
guy.
uncle.
Yeah, he's
the
the weird uncle.
Yeah,
yeah.
And you can't say anything to him because he's in charge. That's it.
Right. Altered says, "Are you guys working? Or are you working on a second album back in 2011? Best song ever." I am working on it. I'm actually working on multiple albums. I'm making one for just Marvel Rivals. All the characters are getting their own theme song. I have 12 of them done out of the 40. So I'm gonna get all of them have an album. I'm gonna put that. We'll put that up probably a couple months from now. I'm still working on them. And we're making a second album, volume 2 of Perk Up, Press Play. So we're doing that as well. And what was that title you said today, Altern? You said that sounds like a song. That sounds like one of the songs. Let me know. Hit me up in Discord with that title, because that was a good title, and I forgot to clip it. So, Krabby says, "Apologies if you have shared this update recently, or if you don't want to share. But how's 30s your son's back doing? He's doing fantastic. It's been 8 weeks since the accident that he had, and they're all healed up as far as closed, and now he's just gonna have he's got to get this like compression shirt that he's got to wear for the next like 9 months, where it keeps pressure on the things that are all healing, so the skin doesn't puff up, so it stays down, and then once it does that, it heals over, and he'll have scars for the rest of his life. But chicks dig scars, so that's what it is.
You've got a story to tell.
Yeah, so thanks for asking. Next thing, Altered says, "Is Battlefield and COD done? Since now they are just Fortnite with better graphics."
No,
they're not done.
They're marketed towards the kids of today.
It's done for me, but it's not done. There's still millions of people playing that. They're still making billions of dollars. So done for me, yes. Done, no.
No.
Yeah. Altern says, "Do you think people should pay more attention on what Laura Fryer butchered it when talking about how the industry works instead of just dismissing it?"
She's the only one telling the truth.
Yeah, I would love to talk again. I know she's seen some of my videos.
She's the only one that tells the truth.
Yeah,
directly.
She's watched some of my videos of me commenting on her, and I would love to talk to her because she reminds me of me talking about the movie industry, just telling how it is. She's one of those people that talks about the industry and her experience. Does she have what's happening now? No, but I'm pretty sure she's still connected to what is happening now as far as people in the industry, right? Because like Ferguson, she worked with Ferguson. Ferguson's still working and does Blizzard. You know what I mean? It works for Diablo. So she's worked with people that are heads of studios and heads of game companies. So she's still in the know. And I think her giving her opinion is a good insight where other people don't, right? You only get to see the CEOs, which are business people. You don't get to see the people that were actually making the stuff and being part of the stuff. And she's one of the few people that's talking about it. So I think it's more of a young people dismissing old person instead of listening to the old person with their experience to share with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just the way I take it. What do you think, Sarge?
She's the only one telling the truth. She's the only one letting everyone know how it's actually going down. That's what you're supposed to hear. You want to know what's going on in the industry. You talk to people who are in the industry. Period. Not the CEO of the industry, because he's got to worry about his stockholders. So
right.
You want to talk to somebody who's in the trenches.
Yeah. And the problem is the people that are in the trenches today won't talk because they have,
NDAs.
Yeah,
you're gonna be
NDAs
fired. I got 2 kids on the way. I can't mess around.
They can't.
But I got news for you. It doesn't matter if you talk or not talk. You're getting fired, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
That's very true. Just
so
earlier or later, right?
You want to solve the problem? Everybody should talk all at once. Everybody should talk. Everybody should rat everybody else out. Get these fucking people out, get the management out, and start fresh. I'm telling you, people allow cancer to fester for too long. These companies have allowed cancer to fester for way too long. That's it.
Yeah. Thanks, Altern. I appreciate that. All right. That's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 448 is in the can. We do appreciate you for coming out, hanging out with us each and every single week. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All the links are in the description down below as far as if you want to go to check out the past broadcasts or Spotify, the podcast, or if you want to go watch or listen to the album, you can go check it out over there as well. Appreciate it very much. We'll be back next week, and I'll also be back on Monday for the Daily Grind, which is the morning show from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical